Chapter 262. The City office of the Special Department is located in an office building in the bustling business district. It usually hangs the sign of Feng Shui House. In the past, exorcism was a feudal superstition. Even if it is a semi-official special department, it can't openly disagree with the government. It can only hang a sign of Feng Shui House to cover it up. Since cultivators have been known to the world, atheism has been questioned for a while. Many supernatural phenomena that couldn't be explained in the past have been attributed to gods and ghosts. Feng Shui House, which has always been popular among the rich and powerful, has become even more popular. Countless declining Taoists put on their Taoist robes again and come out to make a living with the 8 diagrams. They look like immortals, and the profession of Taoist has become popular again. Xiao Xiaomu of the City office is too young. At first glance, people can tell that he is not a man of Taoism in the eyes of the world. Those arrogant rich businessmen look down on Xiao Xiaomu, who is too young. Xiao Xiaomu, on the other hand, is much more peaceful and quiet for him to deal with the affairs of the special department in the City office. The kind-hearted clerk of the neighboring company often suggests that Xiao Xiaomu should get a Taoist robe so that he can get business. However, he always prevaricates. Without the provocation of the bloodline, Xiao Xiaomu feels that his life will probably be working in the City for a period of time. In leisure time, he will wait for another schoolfellow apprentice to replace him in the future. Then he will finish his family's training task and go back to the mountains to continue his cultivation. However, his current life had suddenly changed. Xiao Xiaomu suddenly feels that he has become the focus of attention from a marginalized and invisible person. More and more cultivators in the City report to him all the time. They pay close attention to the movements in the western suburbs. Every day, countless trivial news gathers to Xiao Xiaomu, the local bully. Then he sorts it out and reports it to the senior officials who can make decisions. Before Master Mu and others arrive, and Minister Chen Yun has to stay in the capital. Master Lin is the most powerful senior official in the City. Strength is the absolute truth. Xiao Xiaomu feels this truth more and more recently. His colleagues in the special department are easy to talk to, and his old brothers and sisters are easy to talk to. What he is most afraid of now is the group of individual cultivators who are too enthusiastic to him. Who is to blame? In fact, it's Xiao Xiaomu's fault. He is too young and can't keep his mouth shut. He accidentally reveals that Master Lin has a new apprentice. The circle is so big, and there are many people who know Yuan Yi. Everyone knows that he is an individual cultivator. However, this individual cultivator, who used to have no power or influence, suddenly becomes Master Lin's apprentice. They don't know that Yuan Yi is a registered apprentice. Even if they know that Yuan Yi is just a registered apprentice, they are still jealous of him. It is not easy. Master Lin is the only laying foundation cultivator in recent years. Not only is Master Lin the only nominal apprentice, but he is also the last alchemist in Huan. Those small reversion pills, that were later hyped to sky-high prices, weren't they made by martial Uncle Lin? Lin Ling school yang, he is Lin Yu. As a result, the rogue cultivators who dare not knock on the door of the Lin family all go to Xiao Xiaomu, who is said to have fought with Master Lin. Master, I is Master, I is. This kind of person was the arrogant type. Bah, Xiao Xiaomu. I give you face, but you don't want it. You are trying to stop the relationship between Master and me. Of course, this kind of person is the friendly type. Lin Luoran has quietly become his master. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have been so hot-headed. He and Lin Luoran have only been in the same car. When it comes to fighting, he only controls the white fog through the wall. Yuan Yi is the one who contributes the most, and he is also the one who covers the rear. He is so brave. No wonder he can become Lin Luoran's apprentice. Xiao Xiaomu despises his cowardice while sorting out the news in his hand. Another woman from Rong City who went to Dujianjian on a business trip is missing. It happened one day ago. Xiao Xiaomu frowns. Why are they all in Dujianjian? His eyes moved and fell on a small line of words below. The missing person was a woman who was 7 months pregnant. Pregnant women? Why are they all pregnant women? Xiao Xiaomu seems to get something. He hurriedly turns out the recent information. Not only recently, but there are also several pregnant women among the missing people at the beginning. However, compared with the huge base number, it is difficult to attract people's attention. Inform Master. Yes, I have to inform Master. Xiao Xiaomu is so flustered that he forgets his phone. He picks up a stack of documents and rushes out. When he arrives at Lin's house, Lin Luoran has just finished collecting a furnace of replenishing qi bolus. She is a little tired. Hearing Xiao Xiaomu's analysis, Lin Luoran can't help clenching her fists. Their target, from the very beginning, was the pregnant woman. She can't wait any longer. She has to act as soon as possible. Lin Luoran suppresses her anger and tells Master Mu about it. The situation is worse than she thought. Not only the island country, but also the cultivators of the country of ice and snow in the north want to take advantage of the chaos of the bloodline. So she can only rely on herself and a group of young people in the later stage of training qi. Lin Luoran is silent for a moment. Then she whispers to Xiao Xiaomu. Xiao Xiaomu's young face gradually becomes serious. Lu Mei doesn't know how the person in front of the car got out. When she slams on the brake, she almost bumps herself out. After a long friction sound, she subconsciously covers her belly tightly. She has been pregnant for 7 months. For the first time, she realizes that she is driving alone. She should have asked her colleagues to help her. The new store in Dujianjian is important, but her baby is more important than her work. Thinking that she has hit someone, Lu Mei reluctantly gets out of the car. She picks up the phone and is about to call 120. Before the phone is connected, she sees the injured person lying on the ground. There is no blood on the ground. The injured person's face is on the ground, and her blonde hair is exposed under the hat. Judging from the figure, it is a woman. I hope nothing bad happens to you. The phone is finally connected. Before Lu Mei reports the specific location, the woman lying on the ground suddenly moves. Lu Mei hurries forward and asks, "Are you okay? Are you conscious? Can you talk?" Lu Mei squats down with difficulty and pushes aside the blonde hair covering the woman's face. She sees a pair of royal blue eyes blinking at her twice, and then Lu Mei passes out. Half asleep, Lu Mei feels that she is carried into the car. The car keeps driving. She tries to open her eyes halfway and sees many foreigners. When she wakes up again, a pair of brown eyes stare at her, which startles her. It is a woman with disheveled hair and stinks. Even Lu Mei, who is pregnant, almost vomits. She feels dizzy. Where is this? Who are you? The woman with disheveled hair doesn't answer her. Seeing that Lu Mei is awake, she turns to stare at Lu Mei's belly. Lu Mei can't help wrapping her hands around her belly. The woman laughs and points to her belly. She suddenly shows a gentle look. "Baby, my baby." Lu Mei feels that the woman is mentally abnormal and is afraid that she will hurt herself. She says, "Yes, this is your baby. Can you step aside and let the baby rest for a while?" The woman was very obedient and pushed her away. Just as Lu Mei was about to let out a sigh of relief and look around, the woman suddenly screamed again. "That's not my baby. It's a monster. It's a monster. The monster is eating people. Ah." That shrill scream sent chills down people's spines. Just as the woman rushed over, Lu Mei heard a muffled sound, and then the woman who attacked her fell down. It turns out that another pregnant woman saved her. Lu Mei finally finds that this is a huge basement. There are mattresses on the ground. On each mattress, there is a pregnant woman with a protruding belly. Some of them are lying on the mattress in a daze. It seems that they have already given birth. She doesn't know why she suddenly has such a sudden idea. Have they already given birth? Such a basement doesn't meet the requirements of a delivery room at all. Thank you for saving me. She thinks for a while and decides to start with the pregnant woman who saved her. Years of frontline sales work have made her very good at observing people's expressions. This pregnant woman doesn't seem to be in a panic, so she should have come earlier than her. The pregnant woman smiles. "You won't be grateful to me soon." Lu Mei doesn't understand this sentence and feels a little embarrassed. But soon, just 2 hours after she woke up, another pregnant woman began to have labor pains. Seeing the woman rolling on the ground in pain and beating her belly, Lu Mei is shocked. Other pregnant women, including the one who saved her before, are all curled up on the mattress in fear. It seems that they don't want to help a dying woman. How can you do this? Shouldn't you help her at this time? Lu Mei is so angry that she struggles to get up. But she is pulled by the pregnant woman beside her. The haggard woman's face is full of tears. Don't go over there. You can't go over there. She gave birth to a monster, a monster. Each of us will give birth to a monster. Monster. Lu Mei really wants to ask what are you talking about, but she finds that the words of the haggard pregnant woman seem to open the vent of everyone's emotions. Everyone except Lu Mei begins to cry, and some are giggling. In the chaos, the whole basement is filled with a kind of atmosphere called despair. Lu Mei suddenly feels that her heart is tight. God, who can tell her what is going on? Chapter 263. The pregnant woman is about to give birth, beating her belly. Two pale European girls come down the basement stairs. Lu Mei recognizes the pair of sapphire blue eyes. Seeing the pregnant woman beating her belly like crazy, the female vampire sneers and grabs her hand. You humans are just SO. How can there be such a mother in the world who wants to kill her unborn baby? She is so strong that red marks appear on the pregnant woman's wrist. She desperately tries to break free, but the pain in her belly makes her weak. Her hair is wet with sweat. Monster, I don't want to give birth to a monster. The other vampire girl with flaxen long hair covers her mouth and laughs. It's not up to you. She is holding a tray with several syringes on it. The liquid mixed with red lines is shining with a strange luster under the incandescent light in the basement. Alice, pay attention to the hatching. I'll give some injections to the newcomers. The flaxen-haired vampire girl may not be able to speak Wuxia. She speaks English from beginning to end because of her archaic grammar. When Lu Mei hears the word hatching, she thinks she misheard it. However, seeing the foreign girl walking over with the tray, Lu Mei realizes that she is the newcomer the two girls are talking about. Injection? What are they going to inject into her? Is this the research base for biochemical technology like in the movies? Is that why these women say that the babies they give birth to are all monsters? Lu Mei covers her belly and steps back. She can't let them hurt her baby. However, the basement is so small, and there are many pregnant women living there. Lu Mei steps back, but she has already invaded other people's territory. The pregnant women are shivering. Her arrival only makes them more frightened. The girl with flaxen long hair has skillfully picked up a syringe. Her cold eyes sweep through the crowd and fall on Lu Mei. As soon as she takes a step forward, Lu Mei feels that the sky is falling. At this critical moment, the pregnant woman who has been in pain for half an hour has successfully given birth to a baby. A weak baby cries. The girl with flaxen long hair pauses and turns her head. What's the baby? Lu Mei curls up in the corner and thinks in shock. Shouldn't you ask whether the baby is a boy or a girl? Why do you ask what's the baby? Is the baby really a monster? The sapphire blue-eyed Alice seemed a little disappointed. Come and take a look. The flaxen hair retracts and puts down the tray. Lu Mei feels that she has escaped from death. She can't help but look at the pregnant woman who is giving birth. It is a wrinkled newborn with blood and dirt. Lu Mei sees his head first and breathes a sigh of relief. Although it is wrinkled and thin, it is indeed a normal baby. How can these people say that it is a monster? Another failure. Alice handed the baby to the girl with flaxen hair. The latter turned around, and Lu Mei finally saw the whole picture of the child. Under the normal head was a severely disproportioned body. There were no hands or feet, and there were claws in the corresponding places. And those pitch-black things, are they wings? Heavens, the area below the newborn's head clearly looked like a bat. Lu Mei felt that she had fallen into a cold pond. Her whole body was cold, and she could not help but shiver. These people are doing some kind of experiment on the pregnant woman. According to Alice, this is a failure, so the so-called finished product is a complete bat? Great fear tightly entangles Lu Mei like seaweed. She wants to escape and pass out, but God is against her. Lu Mei is very sober, very sober. Will she give birth to such a monster? Alice walks out with the monster baby in her arms. The girl with flaxen hair doesn't care about the weak postpartum pregnant woman. It seems that her mission has been completed after giving birth to the baby. She wipes the blood on her hands and holds the tray again. Lu Mei feels that her heart is pounding again. She has already felt the cold light shining on the tip of the needle. The girl with flaxen hair is approaching her. Who can help me? Honey, come and help me. Lu Mei, who is always cheerful, can't help crying. Her wrist is caught. Lu Mei struggles desperately in horror. The door of the basement suddenly opens again. Wait. It is Alice. She is back. At this moment, Lu Mei even wants to thank her. The monster baby in Alice's hands is gone. She runs in a panic. Seeing that the girl with flaxen hair hasn't injected it yet, she is relieved. Miss Crystal said that this batch of injections must be refined again. Don't inject the newcomers for the time being. Dodged a bullet? Lu Mei is stunned. She watches the girl with flaxen hair walk out with the tray. When the door of the basement is closed again, Lu Mei can finally relax for a while. The basement is a mess. Lu Mei is soaked. It is late autumn. She will catch a cold wearing wet clothes. Lu Mei wants to get some fresh air. She moves to the wall. It is a vent close to the ground. Lu Mei suddenly feels water splashing on her face. Is it raining? She hears the pitter-patter of the rain. Would this be the last rain before winter? Lu Mei sticks her face to the wall. These foreigners seem to be well organized. She doesn't know which wilderness she is in. Will anyone come to save her? The rain is pitter-patter. It is the quiet Tianfu Square in the dead of night. It is almost dawn, which is the time when people are sleepy. Only taxis pass by the square, and look at the group of people in the rain curiously. Are they the expansion training of some company? Of course, they didn't expect that these people were the cultivators, who were extremely mysterious to ordinary people and rarely seen, to appear here in a group. The raindrops gather in the low-lying areas and wash the ground of the square. However, Xiao Xiaomu doesn't feel cold at all. There are many small porcelain bottles on the tray in his hand. Master Lin said that she will distribute them to everyone. Hundreds of cultivators in the level of training Qi in the square are staring at him. Then they look at Lin, who is standing in the front. She is shining with a dim light, blocking the rain within 3 feet of her. There are 3 replenishment boluses in each bottle. It should be enough for today. Is Master Lin going to distribute boluses? Many people are overjoyed. They have been taught to kill the aliens since they were young, so they don't think it is wrong. Lin Luoran is going to distribute boluses to them. Isn't that a surprise? Master Lin's products are all good. Lin Luoran glances at the crowd. She and Wen Guanjing are the most powerful ones here. The rest of them are dealing with the unaffiliated vampires. The rain has lasted for a whole day. It is said that the vampires love tidiness and don't like muddy rainy nights. Lin Luoran believes that most of the vampires are in the textile school at this time. She had to settle this matter before the next night arrived. She didn't expect that Wen Guanjing would come out so soon. He has completed the level of training Qi again, and can go to the textile school with her tonight. However, what Lin Luoran doesn't expect is, and the abandoned disciple of the Qingqing Taoist temple whom she hasn't seen for a long time. Now he is an unaffiliated cultivator. Lin Luoran can't find an excuse to stop him from joining them. There are many familiar faces in the crowd. They are her teammates who went to the secret land with her. Chu Yi is one of them. Li Xie also has a bad opinion of him. Chu Yi seems to feel guilty about it. In fact, Chu Yi just didn't make it to the end. Lin Luoran doesn't have the right to blame him. Yu and Chu Yi will split into 2 teams. Each team will bring 5 cultivators in the early stage of training Qi. Find the places where the vampires are active and kill them. Yes. Yes. The 2 of them say at the same time. They choose cultivators in the early stage of training Qi that they are familiar with. Those in the middle stage of training Qi take 3 steps forward. Lin Luoran pulls herself together and continues to assign tasks. It is the first time for her to lead so many people. It is a lie to say that she is not nervous. However, she has the highest level of cultivation here. If she is not confident, these people will lose their minds like headless flies. Among the hundreds of people, only about 20 are in the middle stage of training Qi. Lin Luoran looks at Wen Guanjing and the latter nods to her. Lin Luoran is more confident in her assignment. She says loudly, 20 people in the middle stage of training Qi, follow us. The rest of the cultivators in the early stage of training Qi will be divided into groups of 3. No matter what happens, they must help each other. Leave 30 people outside the wall. If anyone escapes, kill them as long as they are vampires. Lin Luoran's arrangement is reasonable, and no one has any objection. Lu Zheng touches his nose and smiles bitterly. His level of cultivation is still too low. This time, he is either waiting for a hare, or he is in the same group as others. He is still far from being able to fight side by side with Lin Luoran. From this point of view, he is really jealous of the cultivator named Wen Guanjing. Xiao Xiaomu asks boldly, "Master, shall we go now?" Lin Luoran smiles. "Of course we have to eat first. As your master, I can't be stingy with you." The door of a bus beside the square is opened. Fatty Chui, who is so fat that he can't even walk, squeezes out of the bus and shouts behind him, hurry up, girls." His wretched voice makes most of the young people in the mountains who only know how to cultivate themselves. God, is Master Lin going to give them girls? That is so evil. Everyone looked in the direction of the carriages. Sure enough, it was a group of young and beautiful women. Of course, it was not what they had imagined. They were all holding things in their hands. The rain gradually became lighter, and the golden sun leaped out from the clouds. The women were holding fruits, wine, and steaming hot roasted meat. What kind of combination is this? A cultivator who takes a peach feels his taste buds explode. The peach is so delicious and has a touch of Reiki. God, am I wrong? Chapter 264. It's 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is still warm and orange. If it were in late autumn, people would feel itchy and cold. However, for the bloodline, the time for revelry is over. They are creatures of the night. The sunlight will burn the skin of low-rank bloodline, and they hate daytime. The sun at 8 or 9 o'clock is powerful. Most of the bloodline are sleeping in their coffins. The entire textile college is ruined and gray again. What is different is that the western suburb, which is supposed to be bustling in the daytime, is as quiet as the textile college. In order to avoid hurting the innocent, ordinary people have been temporarily relocated overnight. The reason given by the government is not that cultivators want to exterminate the bloodline, but that there may be biochemical weapons in the textile college. The people who have been poisoned by the biochemical movies have been moved away obediently. If it's a bomb, they will watch it. If it's a poisonous gas, who knows if it's a disaster? The military vehicle that Lin Luoran and her group take is spacious and efficient. All the people have been evacuated, and the snipers are in position. If you don't send a signal, even a fly will be shot into pieces. Lu Sanchun takes the initiative to greet Lin, and whispers in her ear. Lin Luoran nods. "Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Lu." Lu Sanchun salutes. This action of Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran is semi-official. The elites of the army surround the textile school tightly. This is the last line of defense. They would rather waste some manpower than allow anyone to escape. Lin Luoran doesn't think this action is covert, especially when people are evacuated. The bloodline should have noticed it. They didn't do anything. Is it a huge trap? Lin Luoran raises her eyes and looks at the tallest building of the textile college. Crystal, the bat, and Riddick, who she can't see through, should be in that building. Without hesitation, she says, "Move." 3 cultivators in the early stage of training Qi form a line of defense within the line of defense of the snipers. Crystal stands on the top of the building and looks down at the wall of the textile college. She has already seen Lin Luoran standing on the military vehicle. Riddick pouted. "Little sister, what are you doing? We can totally evacuate." In fact, he agrees with Crystal's plan to revitalize the bloodline. However, he can't understand why Crystal is so high-profile. Why did she provoke this female cultivator in the first place? There is a saying in Wuxia, "You can only make a fortune by keeping quiet." If they had chosen a valley or an underground place to do the experiment, they could have made a big splash when they succeeded. Wouldn't that be the best of both worlds? That was Roddick's only complaint. Crystal comforts him with a smile. "Dear brother, are you worried about those descendants? If they all die in the hands of the Eastern cultivators, they're just a bunch of trash. Don't worry, we'll have better substitutes to act as descendants." Her slender and pale fingers point at the densely packed human heads outside the wall. The East is really a magical country. These cultivators, who are called cultivators, and try in vain to become immortals, have become her wedding dress. Roddick is just a young man, but he has lived for almost 500 years. The brother and sister have been together for hundreds of years, so they know each other very well. Roddick immediately realizes that the substitute descendants Crystal is talking about are the Eastern cultivators outside the wall. You're crazy. You must be crazy. You're bringing disaster to the bloodline. You know that these Wuxia people have always been called the descendants of gods. Roddick has always known that Crystal is rebellious and bold, but he never expected that she would try to fight against the Wuxia cultivators and turn them into vampires. This is forbidden by the bloodline. How dare she? Crystal shows a faint smile. Descendants of gods? Even if there is a god in the world, it's not the god of our bloodline. She lowers her eyes and murmurs, I've prepared for years for today. I'm sure I'll succeed. She suddenly raises her head and smiles at the bats on the windowsill. We will succeed, won't we? By then, I'll have a group of descendants with the most potential. Who can stop me in the East where there is no Vatican? You have a group of vampire bats. You can go anywhere in the world. The bat stares at her coldly. There seems to be a smile in its small eyes, which are usually expressionless. It has been dreaming for a long time to let the vampire bats come back to the world after leaving the secret land. That man is gone. Just like no one can stop the bloodline from spreading in the East, no one can stop the vampire bats from coming back to the godly land. As for the human race, it has hated them for a long time. 10,000 years of suppression has not worn away its hostility. Instead, it hates them more and more. Then it will give them to the inferior bloodline. Although they are only half monsters, they are much more pleasing to the eye than the human race. Crystal suddenly raises her voice. Alice. Alice, who has sapphire blue eyes, pushes the door open and says, Miss Crystal, I have to tell you a piece of good news. Recently, a pregnant woman gave birth to a baby. Although only the lower part of the baby is a bat, it already has the ability to suck blood. Crystal smiles. Her chestnut eyes are watery and her wavy hair is blown by the morning wind. She is really a European beauty. Junior Brother 1, our mission is to kill the 2 leaders of the Blood Clan. Lin Luoran never knew that she would be so warlike in the name of righteousness. Every cell in her body is screaming that she needs to fight, and she is not afraid of fighting. When Guanjing holds the big sword in his hand and nods solemnly, as the captain of the special department, it is not the first time for him to fight against the bloodline. Therefore he is calm. Lin Luoran tilts her head and says, Young Masterin, can you give us some teleport figures and some petrification figures? If this is Lin Luoran's personal business, she will ignore him no matter how capable he is. However, in order to be fair, she has to make good use of Anne's strength, and has put all kinds of figures in his sleeves. He even has a few bamboo figures that Huizhu once gave him to save his life. After what happened in the Dragon Palace, and doesn't know how to face Lin Luoran anymore. When they meet again, he can only keep silent. Lin Luoran looks to the left. She has a headache. Huang Weijian said that his magic weapon can restrain the bat, and he insists on following them. It is extremely dangerous for a cultivator at the early stage of training Qi to face the bat. Huang. Before Lin Luoran can say anything, the boy clenches his fists and says, I will protect myself and stay far away from them. I am only responsible for restraining the bat monster temporarily. I will not act rashly. He is precocious and assertive. Lin Luoran can't change his mind. She has to remind him again. Then she casts a spell and flies over the high wall. It was the first time that the snipers hiding in the distance had seen the means of the cultivators. Someone was flying in the sky without any assistance in broad daylight. This was obviously in conflict with the law of universal gravitation that they had been taught since they were young. If they had not been well trained, they would not have calmed down after only a few seconds. Lu Sanchun stares at Lin Luoran. A few years ago, Lin Luoran saved Baojia. At that time, he didn't see the whole process, so he was not as shocked as he is now. She is flying. There is no steel wire or magic weapon that cultivators usually use. She is flying with her own strength. Flying. This is an ability that even some low-level cultivators are envious of. They look up at the figure flying high. The wind blows up her skirt and her long hair. She looks like a goddess of war coming to the human world. This is the young and powerful Master Lin. She has reached the level of laying foundation after 4 years of cultivation. She is the idol that everyone can't help but worship in this era of declining cultivation. Chapter 265. The morning wind stops. The western suburb has always been windy. The cyclones that people love and hate stop when they come to the building. Maybe it is due to the low air pressure, or it is a coincidence. And throws several figures in his hands. They are fast wind figures, which are one level higher than teleport figures. Huang Weijian feels like he is floating, while he is feeling curious, and puts a bamboo figure in his hand. It is a warm bamboo piece, and says in a low voice, "Crush it when you are in danger." Some of the old buildings had already been set ablaze. The cultivators who were wiping out the small blood clan had already begun. Only fire can burn the dark side of the world. The bloodline is screaming. Sound waves are coming from all directions. When the sound waves gather around Lin, Huang Weijian is the only one who feels uncomfortable. The teenager frowns and writes 2 7-character poems. An invisible shield forms around him, and the sound waves are blocked. The battle in the textile school is fierce. However, Crystal and her sister are very calm. They still don't want to show up. Lin Luoran doesn't want to play tricks on them. She draws the bright sword in her hand, and the blue light of the sword becomes stronger. Lin Luoran doesn't care about her moves at all. Ordinary steel and cement can never withstand the attack of a grade 5 flying sword. The whole building collapses in front of everyone. This scene boosts the morale of the cultivators who are fighting. Even the bloodline feels scared. They are just low-level bloodline with different talents. However, none of them can destroy a building so easily. Is this the real power of the Wuxia cultivators? 2 people fly out of the building before it collapses. They spread their wings and create a hurricane that fills the battlefield with dust. One is beautiful and the other is handsome and cute. They both have the same high noses and deep eyes. Their hair color is lighter than chestnut. They look similar. Who else can they be but Crystal and Riddick? Ruining someone else's house isn't something a true lady should do. Riddick didn't know how he could still laugh, but he spoke with a hint of indifference. Lin Luoran holds the sword horizontally. Sorry, the last 3 generations of my family were farmers. Lin explains to Riddick. However, the place where the sword light is rushing to is where Crystal is floating. The bright sword is covered with white light. Lin doesn't see the little bat. She feels uneasy. She has to kill the brother and sister as soon as possible. Crystal's impression of Lin Luoran seems to be the same as a few years ago. At that time, Lin Luoran was still in the later stage of training Qi. Lin Luoran's attack was strong, but she still had a chance of winning. Crystal knows the levels of cultivators in Wuxia, but she has never fought with a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. It seems that there is only a small gap between training Qi and laying foundation. In fact, cultivators in the level of training Qi can only use Reiki, while cultivators in the level of laying foundation have Wakan inside their bodies. Their strength has changed. Even though they are both using grade 5 flying swords, the power of Lin Luoran's attack has changed dramatically. Due to her carelessness, Crystal almost suffered a great loss. She dodged the sword awkwardly. Riddick wants to help, but when Guanjing, who has completed the level of training Qi, is enough for him to deal with, and is standing next to Huang Weijian, he doesn't go to help. His figure paper must be used in unexpected situations. With someone standing beside them, the teenager feels less nervous. The bat he saw last time doesn't show up, nor does the bald pen. Where is it? After calming down, Crystal's killing intent is even more intense. She has lived for hundreds of years. In recent years, many people have been killed by her, not to mention ordinary people. Even members of the bloodline have died in her hands. Crystal is much more experienced than Lin Luoran. The 2 of them are evenly matched for a while. What makes Crystal angry is that speed has always been the advantage of the bloodline. When they move to the extreme, they can even leave a shadow. No matter how Crystal moves, Lin Luoran's flying sword seems to know where she will appear in advance. The sword is ready, waiting for her to show up, and the blue light will fall. What confuses Lin Luoran more is that Wuxia cultivators are known for their weak physical bodies. Wuxia cultivators are famous for their long-range attacks. Lin Luoran's strange spells have indeed troubled many foreign cultivators. However, why is Lin Luoran's speed not much slower than hers? While moving, Crystal doesn't leave a shadow, but she can catch up with Crystal in an instant. Wuxia cultivators have thousands of spells. Of course, Crystal doesn't know that this is the added value of the high-level fast wind figure. It is even easier for Crystal to predict where she will appear. Lin Luoran focuses half of her spiritual mind on Crystal. As long as Crystal's teleportation range is within the range of Lin Luoran's spiritual mind, Crystal won't be able to escape. The spiritual mind of a cultivator in the level of laying foundation can extend to several kilometers. Compared to the momentary entanglement over here, the three-man team led by a mid-stage chi condensation cultivator was able to make those low-level blood tribe members who had just entered Dreamland suffer under the circumstances of proper offense and defense. In fact, it was more appropriate to describe it as a one-sided victory. The triangle was a very stable structure. As soon as a member of the blood clan was left alone, he would be surrounded by a three-man team. The cultivator in the middle stage of chi condensation was responsible for attacking. If the blood clan was slightly unable to withstand it, the three-man team would beat him up. This kind of method was naturally not open and aboveboard if it was used in a martial arts competition. However, on a battlefield where it was either you die or I die, not only was the attack effective, but the companions could also help each other and greatly reduce the casualties of the Wuxia cultivators. They haven't experienced this kind of pleasure for a long time. In fact, in similar situations in the past, some people have come up with a way to form a team with the 5 elements complementing each other. However, the Taoist route is very rare, not to mention becoming a cultivator in today's declining world of cultivation. In the past, all of them were talented. Geniuses look down on geniuses the most. They are not convinced by their companions, so naturally, they won't cooperate. In everyone's eyes, only Lin Luoran, who stands out from the crowd of geniuses and leaves everyone else far behind, can convince these awkward young cultivators with her strength. They are willing to listen to her and be twisted into a rope. Wen Guanjing almost achieved this kind of prestige at that time. However, he is just a peer. They call him Brother One. How can he be called Uncle Master by Lin Luoran? There are also some members of the bloodline who don't want to fight and try to break out of the encirclement. After flying out of the wall with wings on their backs, the team of 3 guarding outside is bored. When they see a member of the bloodline flying out, they throw fireballs and hailstones at him without hesitation. After letting the member of the bloodline enjoy the taste of ice and fire, they force him to the ground with magic weapons. It will be easier to fight on the ground. However, Lu Zheng has not been tempered in actual combat. He is scratched by the long claws of the bloodline, and a large piece of flesh is taken away. Lu Sanchun recognizes Lu Xiaodong, who almost becomes the grandson-in-law of the Qin family. He sees him covered in blood through the telescope, and orders the sniper near him to shoot in a muffled voice. But now, with a dull sound, there is a rain of blood in the middle of the bloodline's eyebrows. A small blood hole is unfathomable. He looks at the direction of the sniper with unwilling eyes. The leader of the team of 3 seizes the opportunity to cut off his head and throws a fireball on him. The bloodline has no way to survive. The bloodline may die without understanding that he will die in the hands of an ordinary soldier after drinking so much blood in his life. The civilization of science and technology finally shows its power. As long as it is used properly, these firearms are also nightmares for cultivators. Lu Sanchun sees this scene through the telescope and pats the shoulder of the sniper next to him to show encouragement. The tight camouflage uniform cannot hide the sniper's figure. She turns out to be a female soldier. Feeling Lieutenant Colonel Lu's praise, Lin Qingxue feels so excited that her palms are wet. She actually shoots a vampire. It's incredible. More snipers are encouraged. They ambush in the buildings in all directions and by the windows, teaching the bloodline a painful lesson from time to time. Lu Sanchuan's serious face softens a little. According to the current situation, it will be a great victory this time. The screams of the bloodline who is burned to death stimulates Riddick, who is softer than crystal. Many of the dead bloodline are his descendants. He gives them the embrace and accompanies them through the most difficult period of transformation. He also teaches them how to be a qualified bloodline wandering in the dark. Although it is not as close as the father-son relationship of human beings, it is much stronger than the relationship between ordinary teachers and students. Hearing the shrill screams and seeing the bloodline die in the hands of Wuxia cultivators one after another, Riddick realizes that it is not as easy to accept as he thought. Compared with the ambitious crystal, he wants this group of descendants whom he has been with for many years more. You force me to do this. There is cyan light flowing between Riddick's dark wings. Lin Luoran, who accidentally glances at Riddick, remembers the completely different attacks of Crystal and Dana. Lin Luoran blocks Crystal's attack with her sword and shouts to Wen Guanjing, "Watch out!" As Riddick moves his 10 fingers, a cyan crystal is condensed in front of his chest. Wen Guanjing has already set up the fireproof dome. The cyan crystal hits the fireproof dome and suddenly explodes. It is not like a bomb, but like spider webs, wrapping the fireproof dome layer by layer. It seems that Wen Guanjing is trapped in a cocoon of his own making. He has trapped himself a few feet away from the fireproof dome. But he doesn't dare to remove the fireproof dome, otherwise the spider webs will entangle him. Riddick rushes to a cultivator in the middle stage of training Qi, who is about to kill the bloodline. He is so fast that ordinary cultivators in the middle stage of training Qi can only look at him in the dust. Before the cultivator can cast a spell, Riddick scratches his back and lifts him up. Riddick's sharp teeth have broken out of his mouth and bites the cultivator's neck. As long as Riddick stops sucking blood, the cultivator will be sucked dry in a few breaths. The team of 3 cultivators in the early stage of training Qi is shocked by Riddick's strength, and they don't react for a while. The blood full of Reiki refreshes Riddick. He has never drunk the blood of a Wuxia cultivator before. It turns out that it is so sweet and delicious. At this moment, he has a feeling that Crystal's risky plan to develop in Wuxia is worth it even for such delicious blood. Riddick looked as if he was walking on air for a short while. For yellow talismans surrounded him without making a sound. And who has been acting like an invisible person, finally makes a move. The figure circle of Qingcheng Taoist Temple. Chapter 266. Even Lin Luoran doesn't expect that N, who is only in the middle stage of training Qi, has mastered an offensive figure circle. Lin Luoran has seen Huizhu and N use figure circles. She thinks that figure circles are just used to control the enemy with the power of overlapping figures. She has never equated it with big weapons. Not to mention Riddick, who has been living in a remote corner of the UK. He is really strong. Seeing that she is surrounded by 4 figures, he doesn't care at all. Compared to the bodies of humans, the bodies of vampires were much stronger. Riddick had never thought that he would be injured by an electric bolt as thick as a pinky finger. Shaowen controlled the rune array and accurately avoided the cultivator, who was caught by Riddick. The electric bolt hit Riddick's cheek close to his fangs. With the burning pain, Riddick even suspects that his teeth have lost their strength. Not only that, the electric light is spreading all over his body. He is so weak that he can't catch the cultivator in the middle stage of training Qi anymore. The cultivator, who has lost too much blood, falls to the ground with only 1 breath left. What are you waiting for? After the figure circle, An adds another petrifying figure, and shouts at the 3 cultivators who are dumbfounded. The 3 of them, who lacked actual combat experience, suddenly realized what was going on. In a flurry, they dragged their dying senior brother back. Their eyes were red, and they threw all kinds of spells at Riddick, most of which were fireballs. The range of the rune circle was limited, so Riddick had lost his speed, which was his greatest advantage. Coupled with the petrification spell from Shaowen, his black wings were getting heavier and heavier. For a moment, he was forced into a dangerous situation by these young cultivators. The cold-blooded Crystal has feelings for her brother. Seeing that he is in danger, she flaps her wings and gets out of Lin Luoran's attack range. She doesn't save Riddick first. A bloody light forms between her fingers. Lin Luoran's pupils shrink. She is familiar with this move. It is the blood punishment that Crystal used in the Bat Cave. The power of blood condenses into a knight's long sword. The red light cuts at, and, of course, and won't stay there and wait for Crystal to kill him. He has been using the fast wind figure on himself. However, if he runs away, the figure circle will not be able to trap Riddick, who is very powerful. Is the situation that Lin Luoran has worked so hard to win? Is it going to be destroyed by Crystal's attack? Lin Luoran feels that she can't let this happen. The moment Crystal turns around and flies away, she has already pulled the bow and arrow. Who was a little flustered by Crystal's momentum, surprisingly calms down. A fiery arrow is put on the bowstring. This scene can't be more familiar. In the Hall of Nothingness, Lin Luoran's powerful arrow even pierced through Xian Yuanping's black lotus petals and made her vomit blood. When An barely avoids Crystal's blood punishment, he has a strange thought. As expected, being Master Lin's teammate is more reassuring than being her enemy. As he dodged, the glyph formation lost control, and Roddick was about to escape. At this time, the sun is about to rise to the middle of the sky. It is only a few minutes away from noon. When the arrow leaves her hand, Lin Luoran feels that this arrow is no less powerful than the arrow formed by the strange fire in the Dragon Palace. Lin Luoran can't help but look up at the sun above her head. Is it because the environment here is completely different from that of the Dragon Palace? Or is it because of the coincidence that the arrow of light is acting strangely? Is the power drawn by the spell the most amazing power of the arrow of light? The power of the sun? The arrow is an inanimate object, so it can't answer Lin Luoran's question. It comes at Crystal with unparalleled power. Sensing the danger, the bloodline girl turns around. She can't fight against it, so she has to dodge. If it can be dodged so easily, it doesn't deserve to be called arrow of light. The speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. No matter how powerful Crystal is, she is only a member of the bloodline, not a primitive monster. The arrow of light, which can kill opponents of a higher level, is accurately shot by Crystal's wings, which are glowing with golden light. At the same time, the glyph formation collapses and Roddick escapes. Crystal is not only hit by the arrow. To be exact, the body that she is so proud of is vulnerable under the power of the arrow. With a flash of fire, the root of Crystal's wings is pierced. The arrow of light missed Crystal by a few inches. Seeing that the bloodline girl's wings are seriously injured and falling down, Lin Luoran feels sorry that she didn't kill Crystal with one shot. The arrow of light feels its master's resentment. After piercing through Crystal's wings, it runs out of power. When the cultivators of Wuxia are all running away in fear, the descendant saved by Roddick is pierced through the heart by the arrow. The descendant is nailed to the tall laurel tree in the yard. His sister is seriously injured and his descendant is shot to death. Roddick no longer finds Lin Luoran interesting. He wonders if today's tragedy was destined when Crystal fell in love with Lin Luoran. He flies to catch Crystal, who is falling down. When he falls to the ground, his blackened face is still twitching. Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. The fire bow, which is engraved with a three-legged gold crow, appears in front of her again. The powerful arrow makes Roddick feel hopeless. He holds Crystal tightly. Their cold bodies can't warm each other, but he stubbornly wants to pass more strength to his sister. Crystal, who should be scared, buries her head in Roddick's chest and smiles creepily. Guanjing finally finds a way to deal with the spider silk. After the dazzling fire, he is released from the world, and comes to Lin Luoran quickly. The fatal arrow in Roddick's imagination doesn't fall. He looks up and finds that Lin Luoran is aiming at the laurel tree behind them instead of the siblings. Lin Luoran is sweating. When Guanjing and An are confused, Huang Weijian, who has been vigilant, is also staring at the laurel tree. The body of the bloodline is still under the tree. Nothing seems to be wrong. However, the bald pen in Huang Weijian's hand is shaking uncontrollably. Fear, joy, excitement. Such complicated emotions are passed to Huang Weijian by the bald pen. He knows that the bat monster has shown up. Venerable, are you still not coming out? Lin Luoran is very nervous, but she is also confident. No matter how powerful the bat is, it can't be the real one in the black fog on the magnetic mountain. If it is the bat, She would have been swallowed by the monster a long time ago. Lin Luoran is very nervous. Lin Luoran can't forget the feeling when the black fog looked at her bead. Lin Luoran feels that it knows the bead. In her eyes, anyone who knows about the bead, no matter human or monster, will covet it. Lin Luoran can't imagine who made such a powerful spirit treasure. Is it a real god? Lin Luoran is so nervous that her palms are sweating. The bow and arrow are not real, but her palms are wet. Lin Luoran is so focused. If that arrow had really drawn the power of the sun, would it have been able to kill the bat with that kind of power? Lin Luoran tells herself that her arms are steady. Most of the low-rank bloodline have been killed by the United Wuxia cultivators. The whole yard is scarlet, mostly the blood of the bloodline. The Wuxia cultivators have finished the battle. Feeling the solemn atmosphere, they stay away from the laurel tree. However, they don't give up on surrounding the two high-level bloodline on the ground. With a burst of laughter, a pointy face appears on the trunk of the laurel tree. It is the vampire bat. How have you been, humble chi trainer? A bat spoke. All the cultivators retreated. Compared to the half-demons of the blood clan, this bat that could speak was the real demon, right? However, no one knows that it is not an ordinary bat monster, but a powerful monster that dominated the primitive land tens of thousands of years ago. Lin Luoran is not in the mood to catch up with it. When the bat monster appears, she shoots the arrow of light at the half-meter-long vampire bat. Compared to Riddick's despair, Lin Luoran sees the disdain on the bat's human-like face. This female chi trainer has forgotten her past again. It seems that she has to make a deeper impression on her this time. The wings of the blood bat suddenly extended, and the entire textile school was instantly covered by a black curtain, losing all light. Chapter 267. The sky suddenly darkened, and the people present were in chaos. This was especially so when the fiery red arrow, which was originally flowing with brilliance, suddenly dimmed and fell before it could reach its destination. This caused the cultivators on the other side to panic. The bloodline who is not completely dead makes the last blow. There are some screams in the dark, and the Wuxia cultivators are even more panicked. Someone thinks of the fireball spell in panic, and casts it in a hurry. However, when he sees someone seriously injured on the ground, the fireball spell, which usually consumes little Reiki, becomes the size of a bean oil lamp and then goes out. Could it be that fire was not allowed to exist here? Cultivators have always thought that the spells of the 5 elements are omnipotent, but they have never encountered such a situation. What should they do? Not everyone has clear eyes like Lin Luoran, who can see things in the dark. In the dark, cultivators breathe heavily and stay close to each other to reduce casualties. In the midst of the panic, a glimmer of light suddenly shines in a direction, illuminating the huge yard. Everyone looks in that direction. It is Lin Luoran holding a flower that they don't recognize. The flower is glowing and emitting light steadily. Many people will never forget this scene for the rest of their lives. Master Lin is holding a huge glowing flower in her hand. Her side profile is illuminated by the flower. She looks calm, which comforts their panicked hearts. Because of the space, Lin Luoran is simply a scavenger. The luminous plants she collected in the Kalahari Desert come in handy at this time. With the light, some people try to tear the black cloth over everyone's head. They launch tentative attacks, but all of them are like stones sinking into the sea. After a slash, Lin Luoran doesn't want to waste Reiki. She also stops attacking and temporarily turns her attention to stabilizing the cultivators. She remembers that there are some luminous pearls. Forget it. She just picks up the luminous plants and doesn't want to show off. People move closer to her. In fact, after a moment of panic, they remember that even if they can't allow fire to exist, the light of the magic weapons they use after injecting Reiki into them is not necessarily the same as that of fire. The 2 siblings, as well as the bat demon, had all disappeared after the dim light shone. Cultivators take out their magic weapons and try to make the yard brighter. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and picks a few luminous flowers from her space and distributes them. No matter how good one's methods were, spiritual energy couldn't be wasted like this. Senior Sister Lin now? There was no trace of the vampires in the courtyard, including the corpses that had yet to be burned. As for the Chinese cultivators, there were a few injured in the dark, moaning in pain. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and says, "Save them first." She had already stepped forward with the luminous flower in her hand. If one were to say who was most injured, it would naturally be the middle-stage qi condensation cultivator, who was almost sucked dry by Roddick. Everyone gathers the injured together, so that Lin Luoran can check on them. Those cultivators who have been given luminous plants automatically stand on the periphery and act as guards. People will go into shock and coma if they lose too much blood. However, cultivators in the middle stage of training qi have strong bodily functions and better hematopoiesis than ordinary cultivators. The cultivator in the middle stage of training qi feels that someone is shaking in front of him. He hears a rustling sound like the wind blowing through the bamboo forest. The cultivator is sure. You just lost too much blood. It's nothing serious. Have a good rest. A pair of hands covers his neck. Cool Reiki is injected into the wound, and the burning heat soon disappears. He feels that his eyelids are heavy, and he really falls asleep. People see that Lin Luoran checks his injury, and puts an elixir on the wound. She stands up with a relaxed face. "Master, how is Brother Mu?" A young cultivator beside her is anxious. Mu. This is not a common family name. Lin Luoran glances at Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing has already noticed something and explains in a low voice. He is the sixth brother of the Mu family, Mu's cousin. This time he pestered me to bring him here first. Fortunately, he is fine. Otherwise, I don't know how to explain to Master Mu. Mu Tiannan's cousin? Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that she hasn't seen the playboy of the Mu family for several years since she was in trouble in the blood pool in the underground palace. After so many years, his son must have learned how to play the soy sauce. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to think about it. She checks the rest of the injured cultivators. Wounds are easy to treat, but one of them is attacked unexpectedly and his left hand is almost cut off. Lin Luoran is a little sad. The young cultivator's face is pale because of the pain, but he still comforts her that he is fine. Lin Luoran knows that the cultivator's hand is probably disabled. Although it is not a right hand that can make gestures, not everyone wants to be Yanghua. Lin Luoran fixes his broken hand and stops the bleeding. She remains silent for a while. And who has been silent says in a low voice, "Maybe there is a way to reattach his hand, dragon." He knows that there are too many people at this time. It is about the Dragon Palace, so N can't help but speak vaguely. Doesn't want to say dragon marrow? Lin Luoran understands something. She nods to him, indicating that he will talk about it later, and goes to the Dongting Dragon Palace for the dragon marrow. If Huizhu doesn't use such a treasure, it is likely to be given to Xian Yuanping. Maybe it is for her broken hand. Lin Luoran guesses that she doesn't know how to use the dragon marrow yet. She remembers the treasures in the Dragon Palace mentioned in the bamboo sheets of the Han tomb. Isn't there a spirit medicine that can regrow broken limbs? She is already raising money to purify the waters of Dongting. There is always something to look forward to after the completion of her mission. It will be great if she can get such a gift. She can think of another way if it doesn't work. Lin Luoran comforts the young cultivator. She doesn't make a promise. Sometimes, if you rashly give people hope and fail in the end, the favor will turn into hatred. Seeing that Lin Luoran has given first aid to the injured cultivator, the young cultivator who asked about Mu Xiaoyou's injury asks quickly, "Master, what should we do now?" Lin Luoran notices that the atmosphere is a bit gloomy. She wants to lower people's confidence. She asks with a smile, "What's your name?" The young cultivator sneaks a glance at Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing wants to pretend that he doesn't know him. However, the young cultivator says, "My surname is Wen, and my name is Runlan. I come from the Wen family of Zhu Mountain." So he is also a junior of the Wen family. These families of cultivators are united at this critical moment. They are even willing to send juniors in the early stage of training qi to take risks. Lin Luoran's bad impression of them becomes a little bit better. Everyone smiles. They feel helpless because of the sudden darkness. Lin Luoran and Wen Runlan's conversation diverts their attention. After a while, when Runlan realizes that Lin Luoran is coaxing him like a child, he is a little unhappy, Master, you haven't answered my question yet. Everyone is waiting for her answer. Lin Luoran doesn't know when this change started. She has become the backbone of this group of cultivators. Runlan, what do you think someone wants to do if he suddenly turns off the light in your room? When Runlan wrinkles his nose, scare me? This kid looks 18 or 19 years old. He is so honest, which is totally different from Wen Guanjing. Lin Luoran looks at Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing blushes because of his brother's naive answer. He can't bear to see Lin Luoran teasing him anymore, so he turns his head away. Lin Luoran coughs. If someone suddenly turns off the light, he probably wants to scare you or trap you. Or he wants to deal with you, but he is not ready yet. He has to stall you. When Runlan seems to understand, stall us. What should we do? Lin Luoran looks at the luminous flower in her hand and smiles. If someone steals your light, we can only wait. Wait for what? Wait for the bat to lose his cool and jump out. Do you think I will send people to check the yard and the room one by one? And then you will kill them one by one? In your dreams, Lin Luoran claps her hands. Are you hungry? Master Lin has plenty of food. We can definitely fight with the bat monster. Everyone is speechless. Master Lin looks so cold. Why does she want to eat at this moment? Is this the difference between a super genius and an ordinary person? Look at Master Lin's mentality. Lin Luoran is smiling, but she secretly looks at the dark place where the luminous plants can't reach. The spiritual mind of the bat monster must be very strong. It can cover the whole place and Lin Luoran can't detect anything. What does it want to do? Lin Luoran's mind is slightly shaken as to whether the trump card she is relying on is 100% sure. Wen Guanjing has the courage to hold Lin Luoran's hand secretly behind her back. The back of her slightly cold hand is covered by a warm palm. Lin Luoran's eyelids twitch. However, Wen Guanjing looks at her straight in the eyes. Lin Luoran understands that this is not about romance but about encouragement. Lin Luoran has a subtle illusion. Even though she has reached the level of laying foundation, Wen Guanjing, who is still in the level of training qi, is still like the brother when she knew in the beginning. Wen Guanjing always makes her feel at ease. The situation suddenly changes. The cultivators who stay outside and Lu Sanchun, and the others are very worried. They have to get out as soon as possible. Do they have to fight? Chapter 268. When a huge black curtain suddenly rises and covers the entire dilapidated campus of the textile school. The cultivators who stay outside can't see what is going on. They are even more panicked than the cultivators inside. Why is there such a huge black curtain? No one can figure it out. Such a big move is beyond their understanding. Outside the wall is shrouded in white fog, which forces people to step back and expand the encirclement. Lu Zheng is more worried than others when he thinks that Lin Luoran is trapped in the black curtain, and doesn't know how dangerous it is. He tries to shoot a few shots, but they are all absorbed by the black curtain. There are no scratches on the black curtain. The sniper rifle that can blow the head of the bloodline bounces back when it hits the black curtain. Lu Sanchun reports to his superiors and considers using heavy weapons. Of course, this is beyond the bottom line of some senior officials. Colonel Lu can be beaten back just by saying that it is too disturbing. Commander Qin says in a low voice, "Let's wait." Lu Sanchun feels that he is gradually calming down. He should trust Lin Luoran. Let's wait a little longer. Lu Zheng looks at the bullet shells on the ground and thinks, what if firearms and cultivation can be combined? Will the attack be more powerful? This idea is a bit whimsical. Lu Zheng picks up the bullet shells and puts them in his sleeve. However, he accidentally touches the wound on the back of his hand. He has to tear off a corner of his Taoist robe to wrap the back of his hand. While waiting anxiously, the noon sun seems to be blocked by something. Its long wings cast a large shadow on the ground. Many people can't help looking up. In the looming clouds, Goldie is hovering silently with its wings wide open. It is much bigger than before. If you look carefully, you will find that Goldie is not only bigger, but also has a coxcomb on its head. It looks like a vivid small crown. Goldie is more vigorous, has pure golden feathers, and has sharp claws. Goldie is so eye-catching that the cultivators on the spot won't call it the mysterious hawk of the state of Wuxia, like ordinary people do. They all know that Goldie is a spirit bird raised by Master Lin. Is it your backup plan? Lu Jing murmurs. He doesn't know what Lin Luoran is thinking now. Those who were trapped in the textile school were in a better situation than those who stayed outside. They are all talking to Lin Luoran. Some of them even ask her questions about her cultivation. At first, Lin Luoran answers all their questions, but later, she is in a cold sweat. She doesn't have much knowledge. Unlike the cultivators who have a master to guide them, there are some questions that she can't figure out herself. Look at what Wen Runlan was asking. Setting up a formation? Come on, your uncle Master Lin isn't the Horizon treasure chest. He can only look at the owner and the thousands of cultivation methods, but he can't just learn whatever he wants, right? If she doesn't answer, Wen Runlan will stare at her with admiration. Wen Runlan's face is full of "I am his fan." Lin Luoran really can't say no. Fortunately, at this moment, a sharp scream comes and attracts everyone's attention. The bat monster finally can't bear to see people being so relaxed. Here it comes. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to thank the timing or not. She looks in the direction of the scream. The cultivators who were having a free discussion are all making gestures and setting up their swords. They are ready to attack. To everyone's surprise, it wasn't the blood-sucking blood clan or the bat monster that spoke human language. It was a pink, sleeping little face wrapped in black fog. It looked like it was only a few days old. Its eyes were closed and it occasionally blew bubbles. If it wasn't for the fact that it was floating in the air surrounded by the black fog, it would have looked like a harmless newborn. How can it be an ordinary newborn at this moment? A golden needle condenses on Lin Luoran's fingertip. She is ready to see what the bat monster is doing. The baby suddenly giggles. The baby's crisp voice lingers in everyone's ears. Wen Runlan is confused. What kind of trick is this? Yes, what kind of trick is this? How can a seemingly harmless baby suddenly come out and giggle at everyone? The bat monster will never do such a boring thing. Lin Luoran shoots out the golden needle, which is made of reiki of the nature of gold. The needle immediately goes into the black fog. The needle must have hit the baby. The baby screams, which then turns into intermittent whining. The whining is long and thin, and it is getting weaker and weaker, which makes people feel sad. Their cries are really pitiful. Whispers have been heard among the cultivators. Lin Luoran glances at them and sees two female cultivators who can be regarded as national treasures. Their personal ability is not high and they cry when they see blood. Lin Luoran doesn't know what they are here for this time. When Runlan looks around and finds nothing unusual, he is confused. Master, did we make a mistake? The baby is crying so miserably. It hurts. Brother Jing, why did you hit me? When Runlan is talking nonsense. When Guanjing reaches out his hand and hits his head, telling him to shut up. Mistake? Lin Luoran sneers. Even when Runlan can't survive after being hit by the needle, an ordinary newborn should die on the spot. Why does he still have the energy to pretend to be pitiful? However, the look in the eyes of the two little female cultivators really makes Lin Luoran feel helpless. Lin Luoran orders the cultivators to be more vigilant and whispers something to Huang Weijian. Seeing that he finally has a place to use his talent, the boy is excited beyond words. He steps out of the crowd, picks up the pen, and slowly reads in a voice that is still changing. Good rain knows the season. This is a happy and gentle poem. When Huang finishes the first line, there is already a slight wind coming from the pen. It is so gentle, like the spring breeze in the poem accompanied by the spring rain, which makes people full of joy. The spring breeze is blowing. It seems to be harmless. However, when Huang Weijian finishes reading, when spring happens, the spring breeze quietly goes away and blows away the black fog around the baby. Everyone present couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. The crying baby turns out to be a monster with a human head and a bat body. The reason why it can stay in the air is that it keeps flapping its wings. The two female cultivators who said that Lin Luoran was too cruel are slapped in the face. What they see makes the two female cultivators pale with fear. The strange baby seems to notice the change of people's emotions. It suddenly opens its eyes. Regardless of whether it was the eyeballs or the whites of the eyes, they were all blood red. No matter how you looked at them, They seem to be staring at you, making you shudder. When Runlon stutters, What is this monster?" Somehow Lin Luoran thinks of the missing pregnant women. The appearance of this strange baby is too coincidental. Does the bloodline capture those pregnant women to make such a monster? Lin Luoran feels that her eyes are dry. She can't help but hold the luminous flower in her hand tightly. At this moment, Lin Luoran can't do as she pleases. She takes a deep breath and says with difficulty, "Brother Wen." Wen Guanjing and Lin Luoran have a tacit understanding, so he knows her better than anyone else. He jumps out of the crowd and lands a few meters away from the weird baby. The weird baby shows a ferocious smile and ignores Wen Guanjing. Instead, it pounces on the weaker cultivators. Lin Luoran doesn't panic. Before N does anything, Lin Luoran throws out several paper figures and forces the strange baby back to Wen Guanjing. Chapter 269. The best way to deal with such a monster is to attack with fire. However, the bat monster is making trouble. Fire is not a problem for other people, but for Wen Guanjing, who only has the Taoist root of the nature of fire, it has a great impact. What he threw out was a well-tempered flexible sword. It was flexible and had the power of a second-grade magic treasure. At this time, it was more suitable than a flying sword to deal with the extremely fast strange baby. After all, the monster baby is made of flesh and blood. It can't fight against the sword with its body, so it turns around and runs away, and has been waiting for it. He shows a harmless face and throws the figure paper without hesitation. The thunder-summoning figure paper burns by itself, and a purple thunderbolt as thick as a little finger falls down. The monster baby shivers and closes its eyes. It starts to sob. If you don't look at its lower body, the expression on its face can be very confusing. At least Anne's hand stops for a second. The monster baby seizes the opportunity and pounces on Anne's hand, biting his right hand tightly. The monster baby is sucking Anne's blood. Wen Guanjing stabs the monster baby's back with the tip of his sword. The pain is unbearable for normal people, but the monster baby doesn't feel any pain. It bites Anne's hand and keeps sucking his blood. Wen Guanjing frowns and twirls the soft sword in his hand. The sword rotates at a high speed. The part below the monster's head is cut into pieces. However, the remaining head is still attached to Anne's hand and bites into Anne's arm. Wen Guanjing is about to cut the baby's head again, but Anne waves him off and throws a seed in his other hand. With a flash of green light, a cattail plant bursts out. The cattail plant wraps the baby's head and secretes a kind of white liquid. The baby's head finally becomes stiff. Anne takes it in his hand and gives it to Lin Luoran. Lin holds it in her hand and looks at it for a while. She can't figure out the origin of the plant, and doesn't know what to do with the head of the monster baby. Is its tooth poisonous? Anne pauses for a second, and then realizes that Wen is asking him. He checks his body and shakes his head. This thing has the ability to charm, move fast, and be bloodthirsty. However, it is not completely a member of the bloodline. It is half human and half monster. It is okay as a baby today. However, if it grows up, it will be a big problem. Wen Guanjing puts away the soft sword and tells Lin his analysis. Lin guesses that it is the bat monster. She tells Wen what happened in the magnetic mountain of the secret land. Wen's face changes, but he can still control himself. Although he is shocked, he has to stay calm. At this moment, he and Lin Luoran can't show any negative emotions such as hesitation, fear, or panic. Apart from signing a master-servant contract, he had never heard of demonic beasts being able to come out of the secret territory. However, according to senior sister Lin, if the existence that was suppressed under the magnetic mountain escaped, it wouldn't waste time with them at all. It could just raise its hand and kill them all. Maybe it only has a strand of its spirit attached to a bat. Wen Guanjing secretly tells his analysis to Lin Luoran, and Lin Luoran agrees. If it is just a strand of its spirit, Lin smiles. Maybe she knows what to do. In a small building of the textile school, Crystal and her sister, who were in a mess just now, have changed. Although Riddick is well-dressed, he is not as energetic as before. His sister was chatting happily with the bat. Roddick's slender fingers were trembling slightly. They were all dead. His descendants, including the branch families, And the vampires who stayed here had all died in the battle just now. Riddick can't accept such an ending. After hearing the conversation between Crystal and the bat, he can't help but tremble. Even though he knows that Crystal may have given up on his descendants, no one has ever told him that they sacrificed themselves to be nourishment for something. That's enough, Crystal. Can you take your bat friend out and leave me alone? Crystal suddenly stops talking and looks at her brother in surprise. When she is sure that he is not joking, the smile on her face disappears. Thinking of how Riddick protected her tightly under his body when she was in danger, Crystal feels that she should tolerate his temper. She looks at the bat monster and tells it to move to another place with her. Crystal still cares about their brother-sister relationship, but the bat monster is unscrupulous. It says, "I never know what it means to avoid." Crystal has a headache. Although she has signed a blood contract with the bat monster, and her personal ability has been improving rapidly with its help, Crystal has been scheming. She finds that the so-called blood contract has little effect on the bat as time goes by. Otherwise, she doesn't have to do any experiments for the bat. If the elders of her family find out, she will have to leave the state of Wuxia and split from her family. Thinking of the unfathomable strength of the bat monster, and the plan to use it to develop all the cultivators into descendants, Crystal changes the topic. "Your Holiness, why did you let the half-finished product go? It is weak and it will die in vain." The bat monster laughs strangely. "If I don't test its ability, how can I know what you have achieved by wasting years of so-called genetic experiments?" Crystal's heart shudders. Her wavy hair hangs down. She is indescribably gorgeous. Riddick is heartbroken to see that his sister disregards the pride of the bloodline and shows her beauty to an unknown monster. He stands up and leaves by himself. However, he doesn't know that the bat monster has high standards. It doesn't appreciate the exotic beauty of a high nose and deep eyes at all. Crystal is like taking off her clothes to show a blind man, which only makes the bat more disdainful of such a barbaric half-monster. Seeing that the bat monster doesn't move, Crystal feels frustrated. She smiles and reminds Riddick, "It has been 2 hours. Oh, it is 2 hours in the state of Wuxia. Can we start now?" The bat monster doesn't expose her. It nods. There is no emotion in its blood-red eyes. No one knows what it is thinking. Crystal licks her lips. A bloodthirsty factor is screaming inside her body. She takes out a ring hanging on her chest. If Lin Luoran were here, she would definitely recognize that this is the blood vessel given by Lord Edward. Obscure ancient syllables are read in the unique sound waves of bats. Ordinary people can't understand the information, but this so-called sacred vessel of the bloodline starts to move. The blood of the bloodline spilled on the ground in the courtyard is separated from the mud, dust, and rotten leaves. It gathers in front of Crystal. The ring keeps collecting the blood. The process is slow and meticulous. The bat monster is a little impatient. It flaps its left wing and takes away all the blood. When it flaps again, the blood has turned into a rain of blood. Suddenly, it starts to rain. When the rain falls on people's clothes, they are dyed red. Is it a rain of blood? A protective cover suddenly appears above everyone. It is a blue water cover. The rain is not aggressive, so it is easy to block it. With Lin Luoran's personal ability, it only costs her a little Reiki to hold up such a cover. She has 3 nebulae in her ocean of Reiki, so she can convert Reiki faster than others. She doesn't have to worry about running out of Reiki when fighting enemies. The consumption of Reiki is not a big deal for her. The blood rain makes everyone silent. Lin Luoran is not worried about Reiki or the blood rain. Her sensitive senses tell her that something is surging under the ground, and it will break out at any moment. Her sensitive senses have helped her many times. The blood rain is about to stop. Lin Luoran subconsciously blurts out, "Be careful of the ground." Be careful of the ground? What is under the ground? When Guanjing clenches the hilt of his sword and crushes a paper figure out of reflex, Lin Luoran grabs Huang Weijian, the youngest one. The ground is shaking. Before anyone can see what it is, they are thrown into the air together with the protective cover. The water barrier had several blood-red tentacles that were as thick as a person's waist. They were pulled into the air by something that looked like an octopus. Although the water barrier did not break, The cultivators inside could no longer maintain their balance and fell to the ground. Feeling the pressure from the water cover, Lin Luoran grabs Huang Weijian. She doesn't fall down, but she is scared. These tentacles are very powerful. Lin Luoran can't hold such a large protective cover for long. She has to disperse the tentacles. Everyone hold up the protective cover. If you can't, group up with the people next to you. Don't let the tentacles touch you. Let's split up and cut off its tentacles. Hearing Lin Luoran's command, many small light balls in the water dome light up gradually. Except for fire, there are 4 colors: blue, gold, brown, and green. If a cultivator doesn't know how to build such a simple water dome, he or she will be laughed at. One Guanjing, who only has the fire element, is a tragedy. He lacks the fire element, so his fireproof cover can't be used at all, and throws a paper figure to him silently. When Guanjing is overjoyed, "Thank you, brethren." Lin Luoran wants to take Huang Weijian with her. The boy moves his pen and a faint golden light covers his body. It turns out that Huang Weijian also has the gold element in his Taoist root. Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. "Are you ready?" "Yes, yes." Lin Luoran dispels the protective cover. The cultivators without flying magic weapons fall down first. They don't just fall down. They throw all kinds of attacks at the strange octopus. Blood splashes everywhere. Swords and magic weapons fall down. Some tentacles have been broken. Lin Luoran can't laugh, because the broken tentacles are growing back at a speed visible to the naked eye. There is no way to cut them off. Lin Luoran hasn't made a move yet. Even though some cultivators have been caught by the tentacles, she is still observing. It seems that she has to kill this thing with one blow. Chapter 270. The tentacles are endless. Soon Lin Luoran finds that there is more than one tentacle monster. The whole yard is occupied by them. Its roots are so deep that it takes several people to encircle it. The tentacles grow fast and are powerful, which is a disadvantage for them. Does this tentacle monster have no weakness? Lin Luoran doesn't believe it. She stays in the air with the help of the wind-riding spell, and watches the cultivators fighting against the tentacles. Among them, Wen Guanjing and An are the most powerful. Lin Luoran and An give up the tentacles and land on the root of a tentacle monster. Wen Guanjing's flying sword is sharp, and the tentacle monster is blocked by An's figure circle for a while. With a flash of sword light, the tentacle monster is cut off from the root. The broken tentacles also dry up at a speed visible to the naked eye. The cultivators who are fighting against the tentacle monster are relieved. They look at Wen Guanjing and An on the ground and realize the two of them must have killed a tentacle monster together. No wonder the tentacles around them are all dried up. Everyone's morale is boosted. Wen Guanjing and An have set an example for them. To kill the tentacle monster, they have to get rid of the roots. Some cultivators have landed and are struggling to get close to the root of another tentacle monster. They are not as powerful as Wen Guanjing and An, so they are in groups of about 10. They are going to exhaust the tentacle monster to death. Lin Luoran still doesn't land. She is still floating in the air, and she is still frowning. She doesn't believe that the damn bat can only summon such weak creatures after such a mysterious trick. Wen Guanjing and An are not so naive. They still stay at the place where the tentacle monster grew. In less than 2 minutes, another tentacle monster falls to the ground and turns into pieces of withered vines. Another victory makes the cultivators cheer. They feel that they have found a way to deal with the tentacle monster. At the same time, the ground is rolling again. A new tentacle monster breaks out of the ground where the first tentacle monster was killed. Compared with the first tentacle monster, this one is almost half the size. The cultivators who were cheering at the side were slightly careless, and some of them had already been swept away. The protective barriers on their bodies, which were originally able to resist, were actually crushed in an instant. It is even stronger than before. Lin Luoran concludes. She throws a golden light at the female cultivator and cuts off the tentacles around her waist. The female cultivator is still in shock. Lin Luoran pulls her up with a water rope. Your personal ability is not high enough. Stay with me. Thank you, Martial Uncle. The female cultivator is a little embarrassed. They have complained about Lin Luoran's cruelty before. They never expected that Master Lin, who seems to be cruel, would save them at the critical moment. Seeing that the newly grown monster is more powerful, people don't dare to kill it from the root. They have to choose the worst strategy, which is to waste their Reiki on the tentacles. However, they are not Lin Luoran. If this goes on, they will run out of Reiki soon. Even with the replenishment bolus, how long can they last? When Guanjing cuts off a tentacle and comes to Lin Luoran on his sword. Sister, we can't go on like this. I just observed that it took 2 minutes for the other tentacle monster to grow back. How about we? You mean we should cut off all the tentacles from the root at the same time, and use the 2-minute gap to escape from here? The revolutionary friendship between them was forged after fighting side by side. Before when Guanjing finishes his words, Lin Luoran can almost guess what he is thinking. When Guanjing nods. However, Lin Luoran is not as happy as he expected. She says slowly, let's not talk about whether we can get rid of the black cloth covering our heads in 2 minutes. Even if we can, the monster bat and crystal will not stop us from doing such an obvious thing. When Guanjing is stunned, he is so worried that he forgets that their enemies are not only the powerful tentacle monster, but also the monster bat and the bloodline who are hiding in the dark. Lin Luoran says more and more. Brother One, have you noticed something? Since you started talking to me, no tentacles have come to entangle you. Sister, are the tentacles afraid of your cultivation? When Guanjing's eyes light up, Lin Luoran smiles mysteriously and puts away the luminous flower in her hand. In front of them, there is only the faint blue light of the protective shield. The tentacles rush over for a while. When Lin Luoran takes out the luminous flower again, the tentacles seem to be very disgusted. They rub against the protective shield and turn to the side. When Guanjing and the little female cultivator are stunned, the female cultivator hesitates and says, are the tentacles monsters afraid of the luminous flower? She turns around and sees that the brothers who have been given luminous flowers are much more relaxed in the yard full of tentacles. She is more convinced of her idea. Lin Luoran shakes her head. What they are afraid of is not the flower itself. Brother Wen, do you remember where I got the flower? How can he not remember the magnificent underground world under the Kalahari Desert? The opportunity for him to complete the level of training Qi, the unusual animals and plants, the horrifying blood sacrifice, the mysterious road to heaven, the mystery of the disappearance of the cultivator on the level of gathering vitality, the woman who calls herself the saintess of the Julili tribe, and the boiling lava she commanded. The scorching Kalahari Desert remains in Wen Guanjing's memory as a sea of red heat. Was it a fiery red heat? Wen Guanjing feels that he has finally grasped the key point. Yes, the tentacles monsters are not afraid of plants, but of the light emitted by plants. The tentacles are the underground plants that grow with the lava and are full of fire Reiki. He can cut off the tentacles monster's roots with his flying sword. Isn't it because his flying sword is of the nature of fire? There is a lack of fire in the 5 elements here. If the black curtain is not deliberately mystifying, he should have thought of this. Sister, what should we do now? Lin Luoran smiles. They are afraid of light and fire. Let's borrow some light. Borrow light? How to borrow light? Now the sky is covered by the black curtain. Of course, they have to tear the sky apart. Even if they kill the tentacles monsters, they may not be able to get out. They have to break the black curtain above their heads. Lin Luoran thinks that the tentacles monsters are not the only ones who are afraid of light. She hands the luminous flower to the female cultivator, who is not good at cultivation. Brother One. When Guanjing nods solemnly. If the monster bat and the bloodline come out, the task of holding them off will fall on him and brother and, oh, and that little cultivator? Lin Luoran knows that he understands her. She flies up on her sword. She is getting closer and closer to the black curtain. As long as Wen Guanjing and the others can hold them off for a while, she believes that she can do it. Tearing the sky apart and borrowing light sounds really cool. In the attic, Crystal sees that Lin Luoran leaves the cultivators and flies higher and higher. Crystal raises her eyebrows and asks, what? Does she want to run away alone? The monster bat looks at Crystal with disdain. She really doesn't know who this vampire has been living on for hundreds of years. She can't even see through the obvious action of that little chi trainer. She is really stupid. It seems that I need to go out and create some chaos. Chapter 271. Luoran, are you going to leave by yourself? Crystal flaps her wings and shows up in the air. She smiles at Lin Luoran. Unlike some foreigners who can't tell the surnames and first names of the Wuxia people, Crystal pretends to be familiar with the way she addresses Lin Luoran. Clearly, she wants to mislead the cultivators who are fighting with the tentacle monster into thinking that Lin Luoran is flying by herself. Is Lin Luoran going to run away by herself? Lin Luoran looks at her coldly and ignores her. When Guanjing flies over on his sword, Crystal, I've learned 2 new moves. You should practice with me. Crystal looks at him with disdain. St, do you think I'm a loser like Dana? Instead of being angry when Guanjing laughs, we can't know whether I'm a loser or not until we fight. He taps on one of the tentacles of the monster with the tip of his foot, and the flying sword flies out of his hand. It is such a waste to hold a flying sword with only one hand. Even though Crystal has made a lot of progress, when Guanjing has not been the same all these years. He is from a famous family, and he is steady in dealing with enemies. It is impossible for him to defeat Crystal now, but he can definitely stall for a while. Riddick doesn't like it, but he won't let Crystal take the risk. He spreads his wings and flies over, and is waiting for him on the way. They haven't decided who will win the battle between the magic figures and the bloodline yet. In a few seconds, Lin Luoran has flown to the highest point. Her right hand has touched the black curtain. It is soft without any poison. However, it is surprisingly tough. No wonder the sword couldn't cut it and the spell couldn't break it. The bat monster suddenly appears a few meters away from Lin Luoran. It sees the mysterious and familiar bead hanging quietly on Lin Luoran's white wrist. The bat monster can't help but grin with its ugly bat mouth. Lin Luoran doesn't even look at it, as if she doesn't know that the bat monster has appeared at a very unfavorable distance for her. Huang Weijian is protected by An's figure paper. He holds the shaking bald pen tightly. He is a little scared. You have to be careful. That monster is very powerful. Of course, a bald pen will not answer the boy's concern. As soon as he loosens his hand, the bald pen flies out. The bat monster wants to pull the bead on Lin's wrist. Seeing the annoying pen flying back, the bat monster flaps its wings and appears in another direction. The bald pen is like a radar. It doesn't give up on it, so the bat demon has to face this annoying pen. First, I will get rid of this rotten thing, and then I will deal with the chi trainer. Last time it was a sneak attack. This time, it was a fair confrontation. The bald pen was at a disadvantage last time. Now it was chasing the bat demon all over the yard, but it could not trap it. Seeing that Lin Luoran seems to be at a critical moment, Huang Weijian is anxious. He murmurs, catch it, catch it. The boy has a tough and stubborn expression. At this moment, he is brave and fearless, which is in line with the character of a scholar. At this moment, Huang Weijian has touched the edge of the inheritance of Confucianism. What he can clearly feel is that the bald pen seems to understand his heart. The pen changes according to its master. The previous timidity is gone. It flies quickly and shrouds the bat monster in the light of the pen. The bat monster tries its best to attack. The light of the pen is shaking. Instead of retreating, Huang Weijian moves forward and shouts, I am not afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. The boy shouts several times. He feels the blood in his body boiling. The light of the pen is as steady as his courage. No matter how crazy the bat monster is, the bald pen keeps it in place. Lin Luoran has a smile in her eyes. Her spiritual mind explores the space. She finds the fire phoenix is smelling the spirit wine awkwardly. Let's start. The fire phoenix doesn't roll its eyes at her because of its identity as an ancient mythical beast. This little cultivator always treats it as a part-time worker. How can it, as a member of the royal family, behave like this? Although it thinks this way, the fire phoenix knows that this is unusual. In the past, Lin Luoran as the manager would die. The fire phoenix and the silver fish would be lonely, but they would not be affected at all. They could even wait for the next manager quietly. However, the damn bat is a primitive monster. Maybe it has something special. If the sacred bead is damaged, the fire phoenix and the silver fish will be miserable. Therefore, the arrogant fire phoenix has to control its temper. Hearing that Lin Luoran says to start, it has to put down the spirit wine and sweep its long tail on the small volcano. A small strange flame is shaken off and flies out of the volcano. The fire phoenix takes a breath and the flame is sucked into its mouth. When all the feathers on its head are blown up, it opens its mouth and spits out a line of fire. The line of fire is flying. The fire phoenix is trying to force the strange flame out of the space with its own ability. The mist above the space makes it not as easy as it looks. Lin Luoran can also draw out the strange flame. However, in this dark environment, the strange flame will die out quickly. Why can't the fire phoenix do it? Lin Luoran doesn't understand. She is in a hurry and she can't waste time thinking about these details. A thread of fire flew out from the bead. Under the dark curtain of the world, it shouldered everyone's ardent expectations and shot towards a certain point in the dark curtain. Goldie Goldie. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind has been cut off from the outside world. Only the blood connection in the master-servant contract allows her to contact Goldie. The golden hawk flying in the cloud screeches and dives down. It has heard its master's call. Its master needs it now. The golden hawk dives down from the clouds. Everyone can't help but follow it and fall on the top of the dark curtain. There is no news from the trapped people for a long time. Lu Zheng is already considering whether to contact the crazy Taoist to save the day. Lu Sanchun is angry with his superiors. He needs a weapon that can break through the defense. At this moment, Goldie, who has been hovering silently, dives down in a high profile. The little crown on its head is very proud. Did it receive orders from its master to tear apart this black curtain? Everyone is looking forward to it. Goldie comes to a place 5 meters above the dark curtain and stops. Hey, isn't it going to tear the dark curtain with its sharp claws? They guessed the beginning and the ending, but it seems that they didn't guess the process. The golden hawk is not what it used to be. The little crown on its head shakes and a white flame spits out from its mouth. It falls on a certain point in the dark dome. How can the flame be white? Before they could figure out the name that they recognize from the bottom of their hearts, they saw a layer of white ice appear on the black curtain where white flame fell. Fire generates ice. It is really strange. It is indeed the mysterious hawk raised by Master Lin. If someone can see what is going on inside and outside at the same time, he will be surprised. Lin Luoran's yang fire and Goldie's new cold fire both fall on the same point of the dark curtain. They are exactly the same point. The bat monster suddenly stops moving. It seems that it is exhausted under the bald pin. It feels that the energy in a certain point of the dark curtain is becoming unbalanced. The yang fire is burning while the cold fire is freezing. They are competing with each other. The two completely different kinds of fire seem to be fighting for victory or defeat. Victory or defeat, life or death. They were eager to break through the barrier between them and fight each other. What was blocking them was the black inhibition formation made by the bat monster's wings. The inhibition is getting thinner and thinner. The two kinds of flames are getting closer. The bat monster suddenly moves crazily. The light of the pen is shaking again. Huang Weijian's nails are digging into his palms, leaving traces of blood. He is so stubborn that he won't give up. Just a little bit more time and he will succeed. Lin Luoran bites her lips. When Guanjing is holding on, and is holding on, Huang is holding on, other cultivators are holding on, and even the 2 female cultivators who grew up in a greenhouse are holding on. Lin Luoran is not qualified to give up. Goldie is still weak in controlling its new ability. Lin Luoran can feel its exhaustion. It is not easy for the fire phoenix to give out its ability, which is against the rules of the space. Lin Luoran can feel that it is trying its best. Lin Luoran knows that every step she takes is more difficult than that of ordinary people. She has been blessed by the Tao of nature, and laid foundation in 4 years. She has risked her life to reach the level of laying foundation. Every step is dangerous. There is no reason for her to give up now. She is so close. She must succeed. When a pair of black wings suddenly appears beside Huang Weijian, Lin Luoran feels that her heart is skipping a beat. Alice has a beautiful face, white skin and royal blue eyes. She stays in the air and smiles sweetly. Crystal also smiles. Alice doesn't attack Huang Weijian. She just waves her wings and sticks to the boy's ear like a water snake. She is a cold-blooded vampire, but her breath is sweet and fragrant. This is the favorite sweet face of a teenager. It can satisfy every teenager's fantasy about first love. Huang Weijian is not in love, but he knows there is a difference between men and women. Because he doesn't attack, and's figure paper doesn't react at all. Alice's cold hands touch his cheek as she wishes. The boy pushes away the shameless girl of the bloodline in disgust. However, that hot-blooded courage, decisiveness, and perseverance were all deflated. The light of the brush can no longer trap the bat monster. It flaps its wings and flies out. Alice's expression changes immediately. She attacks Huang Weijian heavily. The boy subconsciously crushes the bamboo piece and gave him. The power of the figure paper wraps him up, and he falls into the tentacle monster's territory. The huge tentacles immediately wrap around him, trying to suffocate him to death. Did he fail? The cultivator's heart sink to the bottom. When Guanjing is knocked away as well as Huang Weijian, and is also defeated, the bat monster flashes and appears beside Lin Luoran's neck. It wants to suck the Qi trainer's blood dry to vent its hatred. Before biting, the bat monster takes one last look at Lin Luoran, hoping to see despair in her eyes. That will make it feel better. Why is she smiling in her eyes? Lin Luoran takes her hand away. A ray of sunshine that hasn't been there for a long time shines down. The tentacle monster immediately hides back to the ground as if it saw a ghost. The bat monster is stiff and motionless. It forgets to bite. Chapter 272. Lin Luoran draws out her sword and cuts the black curtain. The crack is so fragile that a big hole is torn open. Crystal and Riddick are senior members of the bloodline. Alice is the first one to suffer. In the sun, her face, which is as sweet as Princess Qian, is burnt and smoking comes out. The back of her hands, which are exposed under her clothes, is full of red and swollen blisters. Alice screams. She is surrounded by Wuxia cultivators who have woken up and start to kill her. Everyone is refreshed. As soon as the tentacle monster is gone, they all get out. Some cultivators are strangled and their faces turn purple, but they are soon saved by their companions. The monster bat is no longer in a daze. Now it is angry and panicked. How dare you? Lin Luoran stands there with her sword in her hand. Goldie is flying over her head. Cheers come from the crowd. They are probably saying, "Long live Master Lin." The scene reminds Riddick of an old saying in Wuxia. The game is over. The monster bat can't wait to eat Lin Luoran alive. However, it can't move. This time, it is not frozen by the bald pen. Instead, a force from the Tao of Heaven has locked the monster bat. The clear sky suddenly changes. Although the sun is still shining, a rotating cloud appears above the textile school, flashing with crackling electric lights. It's not that the bat monster can't move, but even Crystal, a half-monster with a strong sense of hostility, is trembling from the bottom of her bones. Is this the cloud of doom? The mighty power of thunder and lightning reminds Lin Luoran that this must be the legendary heaven's doom. Let's retreat. The cloud of doom will not come for her, a little cultivator in the level of laying foundation. It must come for the bat. Lin Luoran doesn't want everyone to stay here and take the thunder. She calls the cultivators to run out. As expected, although everyone is panicking, they jump out of the wall because of the coercion of the cloud of doom. However, the cloud of doom stays far away and doesn't come after them. It seems that the cloud is brought here by the monster bat. Retreat! Retreat! Lin Luoran looks at the monster bat vigilantly and commands the cultivators to keep a safe distance. This scene was too dramatic. Originally, everyone was still on the brink of life and death. Who would have thought that after the black curtain was torn open, and before they could fight for their lives, tribulation clouds would appear, as if they were going to deal with the bat demon. Who says that the Tao of Heaven is in chaos? The Tao of Heaven will not let go of such a monster. Are you okay? Lu Jing asks when Lin Luoran is the last one to fly out. Lin Luoran nods at him and looks into the distance. She whispers, "I'm afraid your grandmaster has finished his closed-door training." China had not seen heavenly tribulation for many years. Tribulation clouds would only appear when a great demon took human form, and a cultivator's core broke through to the nascent soul stage. At first, the crazy Taoist thinks that someone is forming vitality in the land of Shu. Feeling the power of the doom cloud, he has to drop the matter of the soul wood and rush to the western suburbs of our city. With the personal ability of bearing essence cultivators, Lin Luoran can feel the crazy Taoist's arrival in just a few minutes. Is someone trying to condense gathering vitality? The crazy Taoist comes on a cloud and stares at the bat monster under the dark clouds. People don't know who he is. Seeing Lin Luoran's respectful attitude, they wonder if he is a legendary master in the level of bearing essence. They don't dare to disturb him and pretend not to see him. Lin Luoran and the others have retreated for more than a mile. The coercion of the dark clouds still makes some people feel weak. Lin Luoran asks in a low voice, "Master, what do you mean?" The crazy Taoist explains the appearance of the dark clouds. Lin Luoran shakes her head. "I'm afraid that the bat monster is neither of the two cases." Lin Luoran tells him what she saw in the magnetic mountain of the secret land. Of course, she doesn't tell him about the bead. The crazy Taoist hears it and sighs that they are lucky. "You are really brave. A monster that can attract heaven's tribulation by attaching its spiritual mind to a body must be a great evil in the primitive world. I'm afraid that it wants to catch you alive, so you can escape." Lin Luoran is stunned. According to what the crazy Taoist said, she seems to rely on the bead. She is a bit careless. If she and Goldie didn't work together to break the black curtain, the bat monster might have more tricks up its sleeves. They may not be able to escape like this. Lin Luoran is a little scared when she thinks about it. The crazy Taoist points at her and tells her to look at the field. The bat monster is stared at by the dark clouds and can't move. Crystal is certainly not feeling well. Only Riddick flaps his wings and finds that he can still move. "Crystal, this cloud is so weird. Let's get out of here first." Seeing that his sister is in a daze, Riddick is about to pull her up. However, when he touches Crystal's arm, he feels a strong electric current running through his arm. Riddick almost loses his balance and falls down. He is anxious. It turns out that it is not that Crystal doesn't want to go, but that she can't. He doesn't understand why. As a member of the bloodline, he is fine facing the weird cloud, but Crystal looks like she is going to be punished. Yes, it must be the bat. Riddick looks at the bat monster and asks, "What did you do to my sister?" The bat monster laughs. "She has received a lot of help from me. The dark clouds have regarded her as one with me. Now she has to go through the heaven's doom with me." Crystal smiles sadly. She has secretly killed many members of the bloodline in the past few years. If it weren't for this bat monster, her cultivation wouldn't be so high that she would be so ambitious. Did she kill so many members of the bloodline in the past few years just for today's heaven's doom? She can't accept it. She can't accept it. Crystal looks at Lin Luoran with hatred. Her infatuation with Lin Luoran turns into hatred. She moves her lips and says in a voice that no one can hear except for the bat monster and Riddick, "Brother, we have been brother and sister for hundreds of years. You have always been tolerant of Crystal's capriciousness. Today, please let me go again and promise me one thing, okay?" Do vampires also have tears? Riddick feels that his already cold face is even colder. He knows what Crystal is going to say, and he nods with tears in his eyes. Crystal smiles again. The flowing golden lines on her wings make her stunningly beautiful under the changing dark clouds. "Baron Roddick, please swear to me that you will take good care of our holy relic." "I will protect the holy relic with my life, and carry on the bloodline of our clan." "Honorable Earl Crystal." Riddick chokes with sobs and kneels down on one knee in the air. What are they doing? When Runlon is fearless because she is ignorant. She has no idea who the crazy Taoist is. She pulls the dirty Taoist who is closest to her. The crazy Taoist smacks his lips. They are entrusting their orphans. Entrusting their orphans. When Runlon feels that this is a serious matter, she runs over to inform Wen Guanjing. These monsters are probably planning to escape. God's doom is not reliable. A ring falls off Crystal's neck and falls into Riddick's palm. The bat monster sneers. "Why don't you stay with me? Crystal screams, "Don't even think about it." She moved with all her might and knocked Roddick out of the minefield, causing him to fall far away. As soon as the target moves, the dark clouds rumble and a purple lightning bolt thicker than a bucket strikes down. The bat monster doesn't expect that Crystal will suddenly move and cause the god's doom to come early. Crystal rushes over and hugs its body tightly. The purple lightning bolt strikes so suddenly that the crazy Taoist doesn't expect it either. Seeing that Riddick is trying to escape, Wen Guanjing leads people to surround him. Riddick, who has the holy relic and is immersed in the pain of losing his sister, is not someone that Wen Guanjing and others can stop. The crazy Taoist can witness the god's doom with his own eyes and feel its destructive power. This may be the only chance in his life. He will not let it go easily. In the eyes of the crazy Taoist, letting an insignificant vampire escape is not as important as perceiving the heaven's doom. What's more, he stops Lin Luoran and says, "Look, this may be the last heaven's doom that cultivators on the earth can see." Purple lightning struck down continuously with an earth-shattering might. The wind and clouds are stirred up by the dark clouds. The sky in the western suburbs of our city has changed color. The lightning strikes are more powerful than before, and the whole earth is shaking. At this moment, people in the counties and cities around our city see the sudden change of the weather. The heavy rain suddenly falls and all the animals in their homes are terrified. Even Goldie is scared and lands behind Lin Luoran. Goldie is also an alien species. When it transforms, it will not be able to escape this. 9 levels of Heaven's Doom. What is the background of this bat monster? A trace of its spirit can cause 9 levels of Heaven's Doom. The crazy Taoist narrows his eyes and murmurs. Only the bat monster, which is hugged by Crystal, can answer the crazy Taoist's question. Not because it has a high level of cultivation, but because someone has sworn to the Tao of nature and promised the eternal doom to the vampire bats. The Tao of nature? The bat monster sneers. Since it can be used by people, it has never been fair. The Venerable is not convinced. He will never give up and let the vampire bats come back to this world. The resentment that has been suppressed for tens of thousands of years, and in its opinion, the unfair treatment of tens of thousands of blood bats has made the bat monster, or rather, the incomplete Black Shadow Venerable, so angry that it even slows down the 9th level cloud of doom. This is an anomaly that is not noticed by people. The thunder of Heaven's Doom only slows down for a few tenths of a second, which may be enough to change a lot of things. Boom, boom, boom. The dark clouds have accumulated the great power of the last strike. The purple lightning, which is more despairing than the previous 8 lightning strikes, finally falls. Chapter 273. The 9th round of thunder strikes down. The dazzling lightning hurts people's eyes. When they open their eyes again, the swirling airflow has disappeared. The sky is clear and the sun jumps out of the thick clouds. The walls and buildings of the textile school have almost collapsed. Smoke is everywhere. A deep pit with a diameter of several meters is left in the yard. The crazy Taoist is still thinking about the aftertaste of the Heaven's Doom. Lin Luoran's level is much lower, so she wakes up first. The yard of the textile school is scorched earth. No creature can survive such a powerful Heaven's Doom. Lin Luoran leads people to investigate carefully. They only find a small handful of black ash at the bottom of the pit. The crazy Taoist is here, so there should be no danger. Lin Luoran waves her hand and the group rushes in. The victory comes hard and suddenly. Many people still can't believe it. "Master, did we win?" Lin Luoran smiles and nods. "Yes." Coincidentally, Lu Sanchun answers the phone and smiles. "Miss Lin, there's a call for you." It is Li Xier who calls. They have killed 5 members of the bloodline who are lingering in the brothel. They are searching for the missing members. This is also good news. Li Xier struggles for a while and shyly says that one of the bars is so noisy that the bloodline shows its true colors in front of ordinary people. Maybe they should go on TV. Lin Luoran sneers. "Are you wearing nice clothes today?" Lin Luoran knows that Li Xier is stamping her feet. Lin Luoran comforts Li Xier by saying that the TV won't dare to show their faces. Lu Sanchun hears it and keeps it in mind. Of course, Lieutenant Colonel Lu will take care of such a trivial matter. Master Lin, and those missing pregnant women. Lin Luoran is surrounded by so many people that Xiao Xiamu finally comes to her. Because of his low level of cultivation, he is sent to the periphery to pick up the missing pregnant women, so he doesn't do much. Now that he finally has a chance to perform, he hurries to remind Lin Luoran about the missing pregnant women. Lin Luoran nods. We cultivators have to finish what we started. Everyone has been fighting hard. Let's search the place carefully. Even if all the pregnant women have died, there must be some clues left. Everyone says yes, and those who are not injured still divide into groups to search. The textile school's abandoned campus of dozens of acres is hidden in the ruins. The lingering aura of the heaven's doom makes the spiritual awareness chaotic at this time and place, which makes the search more difficult. Lu Sanchun also summons snipers to help. Lin Qingxue in camouflage clothes is a little shy when she passes by Lin Luoran. She doesn't have the calmness of the iron-blooded soldier when she shot Lin in the head. Everyone had the same surname as Lin. This person must be the leader of the high and mighty cultivators, right? Lin Qingxue sighs. As a girl, she has to work harder than others to stand out in the army, let alone this Master Lin. She must have paid more to be recognized by these cultivators. The snipers are very disciplined while the cultivators are noisy. When they all leave, the crazy Taoist opens his eyes. Master, did you find anything? The crazy Taoist shakes his head, just a little. Lin Luoran smiles. She also got a little. Lu Zheng is only injured on the back of his hand, but he still wants to help. The crazy Taoist stops him. My dear apprentice, will you blame me for not giving you a magic weapon? Hearing this, Lin Luoran remembers that she has never seen Lu Zheng with a magic weapon. Lu Zheng lowers his head and says he doesn't dare. The crazy Taoist laughs. It's easy to get 2 magic weapons. However, your Taoist root is not outstanding. If you want to surpass others, you have to improve your strength and build a solid foundation. Then you may have a chance. The crazy Taoist's words have a double meaning, but Lin Luoran doesn't get it. Lu Zheng's ears turn red and he wants to stamp his feet like Li Shi'er. However, the crazy Taoist's words are not unreasonable. It is rare for Lin Luoran to be guided by a senior. She asks thoughtfully, Master, you mean, don't rely too much on the power of the magic weapon? The crazy Taoist nods. Think about it carefully. Since you got the grade 5 flying sword, you have been greedy for its power. You have less time to use the spells of the 5 elements, right? Cultivators have to deal with the 5 elements every day. If you don't have a deep understanding of the Reiki of the 5 elements, it will be difficult for you to advance even if you are talented. Lin Luoran feels that she seems to have made a mistake without using a hammer to sound the drum. Lin Luoran is not a sword cultivator. When she first learned the spell of Fireball, she tried to feel the fire Reiki by herself. Later, she found that the spell of sword given by White Fairy is very powerful. She often feels that the spells of the 5 elements are not as good as the flying sword. She often uses the natures of water and fire, and occasionally uses the natures of wood and gold. As for the natures of earth, she almost never uses them. Since she laid foundation in the blood pool in the underground palace, she has passed the early stage of laying foundation, and is still in the middle stage. However, she has been absorbing Reiki all the time. Why hasn't she made a breakthrough yet? The crazy Taoist's words enlighten her. Lin Luoran solemnly bows to him. The crazy Taoist waves his hand and points at Goldie in the air. Your hawk is good. Did you bring it from the secret land? Yes. The crazy Taoist smacks his lips and says regretfully, it is really fat. What? It is really fat? It is not raised for food. Lu Zheng's eyebrows twitch. He really wants to drag his grandmaster back. Lin Luoran doesn't seem to hear him. She asks curiously, Master, did you enter the secret land? Of course. Otherwise, how could I lay foundation? My master doesn't know how to make elixirs. Sometimes the crazy Taoist talks in an orderly way. At least today, except for the sentence, you are so fat. Lin Luoran doesn't see him go crazy. She is less vigilant and asks casually, Master, did you catch a monster as your pet? The crazy Taoist's face suddenly turns black. He says in a muffled voice, "Yes." Lu Zheng is surprised. He has been cooking for his grandmaster for several years, but he has never seen a bird feather or a beast dung, let alone a pet with intelligence. Lin Luoran is curious about what the crazy Taoist took out. However, the crazy Taoist's eyebrows twitch and he says in a muffled voice, "That guy ran away again. Caught a monster and ran away again?" This is not a happy topic. When Lin Luoran is about to resolve the awkward atmosphere, the other side has found something noisy. "Master Lin, we may have found the whereabouts of those pregnant women." Found? Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng are not in the mood to ask the crazy Taoist about the monster anymore. They run over. In front of the ruins, rubble and broken bricks are lying all over the ground, mixed with steel bars and beams. Xiao Xiaomu says excitedly, "Officer Lin, tell me what you found." Officer Lin is Lin Qingxue. Her tan cheeks are not as happy as Xiao Xiaomu's. She takes a step back and pulls up a clump of weeds under the tree, revealing the fine barbed wire. "Is it a basement?" "What a coincidence. How did you find it?" Everyone's focus is on searching the ruins. Who will notice a clump of weeds in the yard? This female soldier is really observant. Lin Qingxue calmly explains, "Officer, it's late autumn now. The grass is too green." In fact, many smart cultivators have guessed it before she says it. However, Lin Qingxue is the one who found this place. Cultivators are also proud, so they don't want to take the credit of a little girl. Lin Luoran looks at the clump of weeds. It is not green, but the other grasses in the yard are all withered. When the tentacle monsters fought, the withered grasses were all broken. However, this clump of weeds is still tenacious, so there are not many casualties. Of course, this clump of weeds is not so withered. Lin Luoran thanks Xiao Xiaomu. Xiao Xiaomu lifts the barbed wire. There are asbestos and cork in the middle. The door is soundproof. No wonder they can't get anything without the help of spiritual mind. White light comes out of the hole. There is light in the basement. Lin Luoran has the highest personal ability, so she goes down first. Lu Mei has long known that maybe someone is coming to save them. It's past lunchtime, but no one brings food today. They have been a little uneasy, thinking that their lives are coming to an end. These foreigners are too lazy to do any research and want to kill them. Later, they hear the noise outside through the vent. Lu Mei listens carefully. There are screams and some people are shouting in Wuxia language. She can't help but feel happy. It seems that they are not going to be killed. Has the government finally found this place and come to save them? She tells the situation to other pregnant women and comforts them who are tortured by fear. Hearing that they may be the reinforcements of Wuxia, many people hug each other and cry with joy. In the midst of the crying, the European girl with flaxen hair, who is like a devil in everyone's eyes, runs down and threatens them. If they make any noise, they will die immediately. Lu Mei doesn't cry. She feels that maybe these foreigners are so angry because they have lost. After threatening them, the female devil with flaxen hair goes up and never comes down again. As time goes by, Lu Mei keeps guessing which side will win. Then, monsters come out of the ground, making the basement shaky. Several pregnant women even fall and get hurt. Fortunately, the monster's target doesn't seem to be them. Lu Mei breathes a sigh of relief and continues to encourage those pregnant women who are emotional and extremely unstable. Behind them comes the thunder that makes the earth tremble. Then the buildings on the ground seem to collapse. Everyone is almost desperate. This time, even Lu Mei is desperate. The collapse of the ground has blocked the only vent in the basement. If they are not rescued as soon as possible, they will eventually die of hypoxia in the basement. She and a few others desperately beat the basement door, screaming and shouting, hoping that someone will know that they are underground. The door is too strong and too soundproof. Violent movements and restless mood consumed oxygen very quickly. Tired, hungry, and lacking oxygen, Lu Mei soon felt sleepy. If she falls asleep, she won't wake up, right? However, her eyelids are getting heavier and heavier, and her breathing becomes difficult. The only impression Lu Mei has is that the basement door seems to be opened. Sunlight shines in and a woman walks in against the light. In a daze, Lu Mei feels that the woman looks like her former colleague. Is it her? Sure enough, he was starting to dream. The pregnant women are carried up one by one. The crazy Taoist is surprised and walks in front of them. Girl, these pregnant women are not human beings anymore. The crazy Taoist examines them with Reiki and says with certainty, not human beings? Everyone is silent. They can't help but think of the monster baby with a human head and a bat body, the shy and cute look when it closed its eyes, and the bloodthirsty nature when it revealed its true body. Lin Luoran's eyes fall on Lu Mei. After a few years, Lu Mei is going to be a mother. Will she want her baby to be a monster, or will she choose to before it is born? The crazy Taoist just finishes examining Lu Mei. Do you know this woman? Lin Luoran nods. The crazy Taoist shakes his hands and stands up. Her belly is normal, and so are the others. I guess the bat monster didn't have enough time. Hearing this news, Lin Luoran doesn't feel sad. There are hundreds of pregnant women here, and only a few of them are normal. The crazy Taoist sighs. Sometimes cruelty is the greatest kindness. You have to make a choice and think big. Chapter 274. Wuxia cultivators' encirclement and suppression of the bloodline should be a great victory. The news of victory will not be announced to the public, but it still causes a lot of discussion on the BBS. Or should I say celebration? Lin Luoran later learned that there are more than 8,000 active users in the tribe of cultivators. There are a lot of cultivators in the state of Wuxia. However, the proportion of cultivators in the total population of the state of Wuxia is very small, not to mention that there are many reserve cultivators like Zheng Tian. When this news was released, the number of people online on the forum reached its peak. The whole forum was discussing this victory without any casualties. Not counting those who were seriously injured, the junior brother who lost his arm was very pitiful. However, it was said that martial Uncle Lin favored him. This could be said to be a blessing in disguise. Perhaps influenced by the victory in the Our City battle, the guards in the north and the thieves along the sea also win a great victory under the leadership of a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. Lin Luoran is the center of the discussion in the tribe. There are not many female cultivators. After the video of Li Shi, being beaten is circulated, the brothers and sisters who have never seen Li Shi, feel sad. Cultivators are also otaku. Those who have seen Li Shi, say that she is a sweet and cute school sister Li. Male otaku cultivators feel sad that as school sister Li becomes more and more powerful, she will become school sister Li sooner or later. When she becomes school uncle Li like Lin Luoran, they will not be able to live anymore. Lin Luoran doesn't know that her and Li Shi's cultivation have stimulated many promising young men. Many low-level male cultivators work harder than before. Let's talk about this later. Compared with the discussion in the tribe and the people's doubt about the strange cloud in the western suburb of our city, Lin Luoran's life is very leisurely. To be more precise, she is so leisurely, she doesn't cultivate or practice swordsmanship every day. She gets up at sunrise and goes back to her room to sleep at night. She has officially entered the life of an old man. Yes, she really sleeps every night instead of meditating in the basement. Although Mrs. Lin suspects that her daughter might have been stimulated, her father rebukes her several times, and she is happy to accept Lin Luoran's leisurely life. Lin Luoran's family has enough money to support the family. Lin Luoran's leisurely life doesn't mean that she only eats and sleeps every day. It's just that she seems to have forgotten to cultivate and become idle. Well, in fact, she is also very busy, okay? Every morning, she is busy in the space, picking fruits and vegetables, taking care of spirit herbs and flowers, and playing with the shy little silver fish. The huge dragon bones in the space are gone. The little silver fish secretly told Lin Luoran that, and the fire phoenix moved them to the cabin. Lin Luoran has promised the fire phoenix that she will get the dragon bones for it. She doesn't care about where the dragon bones are going. What's more, she is curious about the inside of the cabin. Lin Luoran wonder, is the cabin? She pesters the silver fish to tell her about the situation in the house. However, the fire phoenix angrily pulls the silver fish away and gives her a contemptuous look. Lin Luoran has an illusion that she is trying to get information from the silver fish like a child. Lin Luoran asks the silver fish to tell her about the cabin. The fire phoenix pulls the silver fish away angrily and gives Lin Luoran a look of disdain. Lin Luoran has an illusion that she is trying to get information from the silver fish. Lin Luoran pulls out 2 cabbages, some chives, and a bag of black fungus from the wet wood. Lin Luoran leaves the space, puts the vegetables in the kitchen, and goes to the backyard with her mother to trim the branches. The environment of Lin's house is very good now. Even Lin Luoran is afraid of being punished for wasting the hard-won Reiki. There are not many useless flowers and trees in the backyard. Fruit trees are planted along the wall. Not to mention peach trees, apples, pears, cherries, loquats, strawberries, oranges, and persimmons are just common fruits. Lin Luoran wants to have a try. She also grows mangosteen and coconuts, which can't be grown in the basin of Chuan province before. The reason is that these fruit trees are bred in the space by Lin Luoran, in addition to the environment of Lin's house. Because of the different planting times and varieties, some fruits have been picked out, some are just germinating, and some are blooming, attracting a swarm of bees that come to settle down in Lin's house. Most of the honey they make goes to the cyan little fox. Even Lin Luoran has only tasted a little bit. There are many kinds of fruit trees. Lin Luoran only plants 1 or 2 of each kind. Except for the path for Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran, the rest of the land is occupied by Mrs. Lin, or the cyan little fox. Mrs. Lin has planted many herbs, some of which Lin Luoran doesn't even know. It is late autumn. Chestnuts are still hanging on the branches, strawberries are still plucked, and seasonal fruits such as peaches and loquats have long been eaten. Lin Luoran and her mother come to trim the branches. No matter how good the backyard of Lin's house is, it is not a mysterious space. It is necessary to trim the branches and take good care of the fruit trees in the coming year. Mrs. Lin eats and drinks with Reiki every day. Since she took the Skin Beauty bolus and became younger, she has not aged in the past few years. Her face is ruddy and her hands and feet are strong. She holds the scissors and gently cuts off a branch as thick as a thumb. Lin Luoran follows her mother. She has done this kind of work when she was a child. Thinning the branches will make the fruit trees less dense and bigger next year. Do you remember that we used to contract several acres of orchards when we were young? It is rare for Mrs. Lin to work with her daughter. She starts to talk while trimming the branches. How can she not remember that Mr. Lin also wanted to improve the family's life? He contracted 10 acres of orchards in the village to be responsible for his wife and daughter. The 3 of them worked hard for 2 years. Even Lin Luoran went to the orchards to pull weeds and trim branches after school. Mr. and Mrs. Lin collected manure from everywhere to increase the fertility of the orchards. People in Li's village always made sarcastic remarks about the Lin family. In the 3rd year, the orchards paid off for the Lin family. The orchards were red and big, and they sold at a good price. If it goes on like this, the Lin family will work together and work hard for a few more years. They will at least be well off. Lin Luoran used to grit her teeth whenever she thought of this. Now that she is more open-minded, she doesn't care about it anymore. I remember. Didn't we return the orchards to the village? The Lin family is not a family of the same surname. It is natural that some people are jealous of the orchards. However, they shouldn't have waited until the Lin family invested all the money they earned into the orchards, built the walls, fertilized the orchards, and applied medicine. In the end, the Lin family failed to keep the orchards. Instead, the Lin family owes a lot of money, which further discourages Mr. Lin's entrepreneurial enthusiasm. Lin Luoran still remembers that her honest father used to cry with his back against the fence. Living in Li's village, Mr. and Mrs. Lin, including Lin Luoran, are all silent and weak. Mrs. Lin is also unhappy about these things. Why does she bring it up again today? Mom, why do you bring it up again? Mrs. Lin sighs. I still remember that because of the orchards, we didn't have any money for the spring festival. Auntie Li gave us 2 pieces of meat. Lin Luoran is trimming the branches and leaves. Mrs. Lin is the kind of person who can't hold back her words. She always has a reason for rambling for a long time. She doesn't need to ask because she will say it eventually. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't answer her, Mrs. Lin is a little embarrassed. We are going to set up a pharmaceutical factory. I think we need a lot of people. Your Auntie Lee's son has been idle for 2 years after graduating from high school. Can he? Mrs. Lin hesitates to talk about this. That's not right. Auntie Lee's family used to be the only one in the village who was friendly to the Lin family. Mrs. Lin should know Lin Luoran's character well. If Lin Luoran can arrange a job for Auntie Lee's son, she will agree without hesitation. What is Mrs. Lin hesitating about? Lin Luoran knows her mother very well. She picks up a fat green insect from a branch and raises her eyebrows. Is there anyone else who wants to work here? Mrs. Lin nods embarrassedly. Lin Luoran really wants to pass out. Hey. She is generous and won't take revenge, but she is not a saint. Ask Auntie Lee's son to come for dinner some other day. Ask Yuan Yi to arrange a job. Mrs. Lin is in a dilemma. Auntie Lee said that the village head has a problem with her family forgetting their neighbors after they get rich. Should she tell Lin Luoran? Mrs. Lin accidentally cuts off a righteous branch. She is so regretful. Lin Luoran has no choice but to ask Mrs. Lin about the whole story. In the end, she finds that Mrs. Lin is troubled by such a small thing. Lin Luoran doesn't know what to say. Lin Luoran thought that the whole family has reached a consensus to live a leisurely life and work together on the road of cultivation. It turns out that Mrs. Lin is still worried about the trouble of the unruly villagers in Lee's village. Mom, when Auntie Lee comes, let's give the old house to her family. Anyway, we are outsiders and it is not our ancestral property. We won't go back. Why should we worry about the trouble of the villagers in Lee's village? Mrs. Lin is a little hesitant. Will it be a good idea? What if something happens to our family? We don't even have a place to stay when we go back. Lin Luoran laughs. It turns out that Mr. Lin has never calculated the family property for Mrs. Lin. She pointed at the entire Lin mansion. This mansion was bought by my daughter 5 years ago. Master Jia sold it to me cheaply for 20 million. What she was implying was that it would only be worth more after 5 years. Mrs. Lin's mouth is wide open. She knows that it is expensive to buy a house in the city, but she still can't accept the fact that she spent 20 million yuan on her current house. With inflation, money is becoming less and less valuable. If this house is sold now, it will be sold for more than twice the price, right? Lin Luoran calculates with her fingers. Although our villa in Mount Qingqing was given to us as a gift, it was worth more than this amount. Lin Luoran stretches out one hand and makes a vertical gesture with her fingers. 50 million yuan. Mrs. Lin knows that her daughter has become rich after cultivating, but no one has ever told her that the 2 houses are worth so much. Mrs. Lin suddenly feels that she is not a good mistress of the family. She doesn't want to talk anymore. Lin Luoran takes her mother's hand and comforts her. Mom, we will live a better life. We don't have to worry about those people anymore. You have to believe me. Lin Luoran will work hard to cultivate even if she has to protect the family. Therefore, she insists on going to the mountain to water the herbs after lunch. Seeing that the fruit tree is almost pruned, Lin Luoran goes to the kitchen with her mother. Chapter 275. In the morning, Lin Luoran spends time with Mrs. Lin, dealing with the trifles of the space, and chatting with Baojia who is asleep. In the afternoon, Lin Luoran usually goes to the medicine base in the mountains with her father. The watering Lin Luoran means that they water the herbs with reiki. In the field of hundreds of acres, each herb gets very little wood reiki, but it grows better than other places. Mr. Lin uses up the wood reiki in his body every half-acre of land, but he is not in a hurry to replenish it. He goes to the dense forest to practice the spells of the 5 elements that he can learn. After using up the 3 kinds of reiki in his body, Lin Luoran is almost done. Not only does she water the herbs with reiki, but she also squats down to feel their emotions. If they drink too much water, they will lose their temper. If the sun is too strong, these herbs will feel thirsty. They are really a group of little things that can't eat too little and can't be too full. If ordinary herbs can express emotions through reiki, can plants really become intelligent? Lin Luoran thinks of the peony fairy she has seen on TV. She asks the crazy Taoist this question. The old Taoist asks her mysteriously, "Have you heard of Diliu syrup?" The name sounds familiar. Which novel has it been written about? Lin Luoran is not sure, so she asks the crazy Taoist what Dilia syrup is. If beasts want to gain spiritual intelligence, other than being gifted and muddle-headed cultivating to the point of opening their spiritual apertures, they can only rely on things like emperor molasses. However, plants are one level lower than beasts. They don't have any natural gifts left behind. Even if it's a top-notch immortal herb, it has to be coincidentally obtained when emperor molasses falls. Only then will there be a small chance for it to gradually gain spiritual intelligence. Only with successful cultivation can it become a spirit. Emperor molasses, this thing, originally only falls once every 60 years, accompanied by the moonlight. Unfortunately, 1,000 years ago, the cultivation environment on Earth underwent a drastic change. The powerful people all said that the way of heaven has changed. Spiritual qi has sharply decreased, yuanying has disappeared, and the extinction of spirit beasts is one of the reasons. This emperor molasses, which allows beasts and plants to gain spiritual intelligence, has not fallen again even after 600 years. Is this the reason why cultivators and monsters disappear, and why the world becomes more and more technologically advanced? Lin Luoran feels that she is being popularized again. She remembers it in a novel. From the master of Huanzhu's Shu Mountain to the Xianxia system on the internet, many of the things written in those novels had been confirmed by her. Wasn't this too amazing? Therefore, some of the writers of online novels may be cultivators. With hearsay and their own imagination, they can really make the world of cultivation look real. Lin sighs with emotion. The crazy Taoist asks her to take Lu Zheng to water the plants again. Lin guesses that the crazy Taoist approves of her seemingly idle way of self-cultivation. She happily takes Lu Zheng away. It never occurs to her that the crazy Taoist may have other ideas. One day, Mrs. Lin says that it is the winter solstice and the whole family eats mutton soup. Lin realizes that she has been living like this for a month. Mr. Lin also uses up his Reiki every day and only cultivates at home at night. This method has benefited him a lot, and he comes to the medicine base more frequently. As for Lin Luoran, her affinity with the wood Reiki has increased a lot. Although it is not as good as the fire and water Reiki, it is better than the gold and earth Reiki. Lin feels that her cultivation, which has been stagnant for a long time, is starting to loosen up. Lin Luoran holds back the urge to stop living like this and start cultivating. She wants to use the gold Reiki again. This is a bit difficult. Lin Luoran has to practice with Li Xier every day. They don't fight each other, but compete with each other to see who can make a flower out of the spell of the gold Reiki. Li Xier recovers much slower than Lin Luoran, and she only has one Reiki. Every day Li Xier sleeps like a dog. If the Reiki in Lin's house were not abundant, Li Xier would have died of exhaustion. When Lin Luoran can control the gold Reiki and imitate anything in the backyard of Lin's house, it is already winter vacation for Luodong and Huang. Luodong and Huang Weijian grow very fast. Luodong is half a year older than Mrs. Lin, which makes Mrs. Lin sigh and say that time is merciless. Lin Luoran turns her face away and doesn't want to talk to this lady who is getting younger and younger. Lin Luoran imitates another Goldie with the gold Reiki. The real Goldie looks at the fake golden hawk with disdain. The cyan little fox, which doesn't like Goldie, is furious. The poor little fox thinks that there is another golden hawk in Lin's house, and the two stinky birds are going to bully it together. Seeing that the cyan little fox is angry after knowing the truth, Lin Luoran feels that she has achieved her goal. Li finally escapes from Lin Luoran's so-called pair practice. She buries herself in the big bed and sleeps for 3 days. When she wakes up, she refuses to admit that she has touched the door of the late stage of training qi after this playful competition of the gold spells. All she needs is the accumulation of Reiki. Lin Luoran feels that the Wakan in her body is getting more and more restless. If she does the closed-door training now, she will reach the middle stage of laying foundation soon. It is a rare opportunity for Lin Luoran to have such a leisure time. Lin Luoran makes up her mind and focuses on the Earth Reiki. The Earth Reiki is mellow and gentle. Lin Luoran walks on the Earth Reiki every day, and often gets along with Luodong, who only has the Taoist root of the Earth Reiki. However, Lin Luoran is unfamiliar with the Earth Reiki. Is it because she lacks the feeling of the earth Reiki in the city which is covered with steel and cement? Well, since Luodong is on vacation, Lin Luoran decides to spend the winter in the Qingqing villa. Lin Luoran buries the other half of the Reiki gathering stone under the Qingqing villa. Following the example of Lin's house in the city, Lin Luoran encloses the villa and sets up a protective magic circle. Mr. Lin is happy to live here. Lin Luoran even includes the artificial lake in front of the villa. Mr. Lin can fish by the lake, which can nourish his mind and absorb Reiki. Mount Qingqing, even the entire Zoo Mountain, has become Goldie's hunting ground. Goldie has no problem to go back to the villa for the new year. Even the cyan little fox likes to stay here because it is closer to the medicine base. Lin Luoran's decision makes everyone in the Lin family happy. After putting Baojiao in the room, Lin Luoran takes Li Shi or Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian to the mountain. Huang Weijian is a stubborn boy. After the war in the western suburbs, he finally agrees not to pick up garbage anymore. Instead, he works in the medicine base of Lin's family. Sometimes Yuan Yi teaches him how to identify medicinal materials. One weekend, when Huang and Lin Luodong went to the mountain, they were lucky enough to find a 50-year-old wild ginseng. There are many ginseng in Lin's space which are too old for her to make low-rank boluses. However, for ordinary people, a 50-year-old wild ginseng is extremely rare. After the news is released, a friend of Fatty Chui buys it at a low price. Lin Luoran sees that the friend doesn't bully Huang Weijian, so she collects the mottled Reiki of the wild ginseng and replaces it with some peaceful Reiki that is really beneficial to the human body. Therefore, Huang Weijian makes a comeback. The money he earns from selling wild ginseng is enough for him to get a doctorate in China, as long as he doesn't want to go abroad at his own expense. Without the financial pressure, this prideful young man could finally get along with the Lin family without any awkwardness. The four of them go to the mountain together to dig clay. Lin Luoran gets inspiration from the monkey wine in her space and decides to make jars to make earth Reiki. Anyway, there is not enough clay, so the three of them are happy to run errands. There are many fun things in the mountain. With Li Shi'er as their guide, Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian have a lot of fun. When they go home with the clay at sunset, Lin Luoran has made a lot of clay jars in the yard. At first, the jars Lin Luoran made with earth Reiki were not square or round. The Lin family didn't dare to laugh at her. Lucy, on the other hand, was innocent. Lucy often pointed at the jars Lin Luoran made and asked, "Aunt Lin, what is this?" And the teacher said that jars are not like this. Lin Luoran wants to bury her head in the soil. It is so shameful to be despised by a little girl who hasn't even graduated from kindergarten. In order not to be despised, Lin Luoran becomes more and more serious when making jars. Soon she becomes agile. Square is square and round is round. Within 2 days, Lin Luoran can make jars according to the standard size. On the eve of the new year, the jars she makes have changed from simple ones with ears to delicate handles to all kinds of shapes. There are exquisite reliefs on the jars. Based on the Wuxia mythology, Lin Luoran has made a whole set of story clay jars. Looking at the jars in the yard, the Lin family is stunned. Lin Luoran's progress is obvious. These jars are no longer ordinary jars. They have the quality of art. Sister, Huang Weijian said that the Mount Qingqing will be very lively on the first day of the new year. It is a waste to leave these jars here. How about we set up a stall and sell them? Lin Luoran has made too many jars. She decides to listen to Luodong's suggestion and sell jars on the first day of the new year. On the eve of the new year, the Lin family set off 2 strings of firecrackers. This is a family reunion. Lu Zheng goes home to accompany his parents, so Lin Luoran invites the crazy Taoist to have a reunion dinner. Of course, there is also Commander Qin. The crazy Taoist looks at Lin Luoran and keeps nodding. He must have noticed that Lin Luoran's affinity to the 5 elements has increased. After dinner, Lucy asks to set off fireworks. It is troublesome to go down the mountain to buy fireworks. Lin Luoran pinches the 5 elements Reiki into a bunch and blasts them into the sky. The fireworks are breathtakingly beautiful. Lucy's hands turn red from clapping. Wang Miao, her husband, and Commander Qin will never forget the new year in Villa number 18. The reunion dinner doesn't end until late at night. Lin Luoran thinks that the kids won't be able to get up the next day. However, the excitement of selling jars makes the two teenagers clean up early, and they are ready to go. It will be too ostentatious to set up a stall in the car. Lin Luoran puts all the jars in the space, and leads the three of them to the front of the mountain by taking a shortcut. At the foot of Mount Qingcheng, it is really lively. There are many pilgrims burning incense. Lin Luoran and her friends find an empty space and put all the clay jars out. Some of the jars are simple, and some are exquisite. Lin Luoran and her friends only sell them for 10 yuan each. Many pilgrims are superstitious and leave. A rich young man buys all the jars that are based on the Wuxia mythology. He carefully carries all the jars to the car and drives far away. He stops at the intersection and gives them to Mu Tiannan, who is waiting there. She's just a little beautiful. I don't know why you have a crush on her for so many years. Mu Tiannan touches the jars carefully and ignores the young man. Chapter 276. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and looks at the world differently with her spiritual mind instead of her eyes. The noise of pilgrims fades away from her ears. Then she can no longer hear the discussions of people around her. Only the rising smoke and the dull bell in the Taoist temple on Mount Qingcheng can be heard. The bell becomes more and more serious as if it is knocking on her heart. Every time the bell rang, her ears would tremble slightly. Gradually, in her eyes, there were only the 5 colors of heaven and earth. In her ears, there was only the purest sound that belonged to nature. The first thing she notices is fire. Maybe she purifies herself with the Reiki fruit of fire, so she is destined to be closest to fire. The pilgrims hold the candles high. The flames are shaken by the mountain wind. Sensing Lin Luoran's spiritual mind, they complain. What can they say? The mountain wind is so naughty. Lin Luoran blocks the wind for them. The flames all laugh. Fire Reiki molecules are small and naughty. They all surround Lin Luoran and want to talk. Lin Luoran smiles and listens to them quietly. Then she turns her attention to something else. In the mountain, spring water flows down from the high place. When it falls on the uneven rocks, the water splashes like jade beads. In the misty mountains, flowing cheerfully, they are blue water Reiki molecules. Mountains and rivers. Water has been with mountains since ancient times. Only by setting off the cold rocks can the water Reiki be gentle and flexible. It was winter in the Qingqing mountain range. Most of the plants would wither. The hillsides were all yellow and green. But there were even more plants that were not afraid of the cold. They welcomed the coldness of the winter, which made the trees even more extraordinary. For example, Lin Luoran can feel that the wood Reiki of the pine tree is temporarily suppressed by the water Reiki. It may not be correct to say that it is suppressed. In the 4 seasons, Reiki of the 5 elements also have their own advantages. In different seasons, other Reiki will make way for it so that it can shine more brightly in front of people. Just like here and now, when it snows in winter, the water Reiki is more eye-catching and prominent. There is no hatred between the wood Reiki and the snow Reiki. The snow will melt into water next year, nourishing thousands of plants in the mountain. The water will converge into a stream and flow to the plain at the foot of the mountain, providing a constant source of water for the fertile plain of Tianfu. Lin Luoran can also feel that there are many plant seeds buried in the snow. They are in urgent need of energy under the soil. Only a good sleep can they have more energy to grow in spring after the snow melts. Her spiritual mind spun around. The earth Reiki was always so mellow. After being burned by fire, it turned into porcelain. After being frozen, it fell into a deep sleep. After being moistened by water, it was willing to be washed to a strange place far away and settle down in a place it didn't know. There were also thousands of plants growing on the soil, which provided nourishment for the growth of the wood spirit qi. Without soil, nothing could grow, and naturally, there would be no wood spirit qi. Soil is a silent dedication, and is compatible with the atmosphere. The clay jars she makes are also plastic. They are square and round, embossed and hollowed out. The little pig with its nose arched on the jar is very fresh. What about gold? Where is gold? All kinds of metals and ores buried in the soil are gold. The thousands of plants contain the power of life, that toughness, they were all gold. When breaking branches, throwing away the soil, and stepping on the pool, they are also gold. Even Li Shir, a girl who doesn't like killing, has extremely sharp Reiki flowing in her body. The Reiki is indeed gold Reiki that has been refined by Lin Luoran. The gold Reiki is hidden among the 4 kinds of Reiki. They don't want to separate, but they can't offend each other. Once they cross the boundary, they will become the most powerful executioner in the world. The gold Reiki is the sharpest weapon. The Reiki of the 5 elements are around Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran feels that she understands them more and more. The world is vast and the 5 elements make up everything in the world. How can she say that she has understood the Reiki of the 5 elements? However, Lin Luoran's spiritual mind is wandering in the forest. She watches birds, listens to insects, looks down at the frost on the pool, feels the flying flowers and leaves, feels that everything is alive. The nature of earth is compatible with the sharpness of the gold Reiki. Lin Luoran feels very happy. She smiles. There seems to be some kind of bridge between her body and the outside world. The Reiki of the 5 elements swarms in. Standing at the foot of the busy mountain, Lin Luoran feels that the Reiki in her body is resonating with them. Lin Luoran doesn't extract the vitality of everything for her own use. She doesn't lack Reiki. What she needs is an epiphany like this. Yes, she has an epiphany. She has leveled up. Reiki is running in her veins. The Reiki stored in her blood, meridians, bones, and even hair now swarms to the ocean of Reiki in her pubic region, and is swallowed by the 3 rotating nebulas. Every time the nebulas spit out, the Reiki is turned into Wakan, more and thicker than before. Lin Luoran feels that her spiritual mind is also being nourished. The pure Wakan feeds back to her blood, muscles, meridians, and bones. The Reiki is still in the form of Reiki molecules. It seems that something is different. Is it because these Reiki molecules are bigger and more compatible with her bones and blood? Lin Luoran feels that the nebulas are rotating, and she can feel that she has become stronger. Little by little, she has broken through the middle stage of laying foundation, right? It seems that the Reiki of the 5 elements are not going to stop. Should she keep going? Lin Luoran smiles. It turns out that she is also greedy. At the foot of the mountain, Lin Luoran has an epiphany and leveled up. The 3 people who come with her are Lin Luodong, who is still immortal, and Huang Weijian, who only has a powerful magic weapon but not a high level of cultivation. Only Li Shir, who is about to break through, has a crystal-clear heart and a single Taoist root of the gold Reiki. She has a deep understanding of the gold Reiki. She is the first to notice that Lin Luoran is not absent-minded. School sister Lin is meditating. Li Shir is a little flustered by this. She knows that this kind of epiphany is very desirable for cultivators. However, they are at the foot of the mountain and school sister Lin is meditating right now. After going through so many things, Li Shir has finally become more mature. She is worried that a tourist will suddenly rush over and crash into school sister Lin and ruin her meditation. Li Shir can't use cultivation methods here, which may disturb school sister Lin's meditation. She has to call more people to protect her. Li Shir makes a decision quickly. She asks Lin Luodong to clean up the stall and sends Huang Weijian to walk around Lin Luoran. The young man's unapproachable aura makes the tourists feel frozen. Many people unconsciously avoid him. Li Shir also calls Yuan Yi, a cultivator of the Lin family, and Mr. Lin. Thinking that everyone is coming to the foot of the mountain, Li Shir feels relieved. Standing beside Lin Luoran, Li Shir feels that her spiritual mind is extended and her state of mind is opened. God, there are so many Reiki of the 5 elements around school sister Lin. The Reiki is so violent that every cultivator has to be careful when they cultivate. Will school sister Lin be okay? Li Shir is worried. Fortunately, Mr. Lin and Yuan Yi take a shortcut and arrive soon. Lu Zheng is also behind them. This is not the time to ask about the details. Li Shir is rarely decisive. She arranges for Mr. Lin and the other 2 to guard each side. 5 cultivators occupy the positions of the 5 elements. Li Shir doesn't realize that this is actually a very stable defense circle. The 5 cultivators casually surround Lin Luoran, and the tourists really don't break in unintentionally. Time flies. The morning market is over. At noon, The tourists have either gone back or haven't arrived yet. With fewer people, Li Shier's group stands out. Not to mention their strange and alert movements, the young boy with long bangs looks like a cold character in an anime. Luodong, who is gentle and harmless, is also a handsome young man. Mr. Lin is a handsome middle-aged man. Yuan Yi is honest and bright. Lu Zheng is a handsome young Taoist in a Taoist robe. Li Xier is not wearing a tang suit. Ordinary clothes can't hide her temperament of an ancient lady. Lin Luoran is in meditation and her head is half lowered, so people can't see her face clearly. However, Lin Luoran is surrounded by such a group of outstanding people. The appearance of this group of people is so outstanding that people don't dare to approach them, and they can't escape from pointing at them. Li Xier feels uncomfortable as if she is a monkey being watched. She stares back at the tourists, which makes them laugh. It is very impolite to take pictures of others without reason. Today, even though the tourists are pointing at Lin Luoran, none of them think of taking pictures, which makes Li Xier feel relieved. Li Xier doesn't know that Lin Luoran's state at the foot of the mountain is very compatible with the 5 elements. Ordinary people can also feel peaceful here. This is a rare opportunity. Li Xier knows that she can't control the behavior of the tourists, so she just leaves them alone. She also relaxes and starts to feel the gold reiki. Lu Zheng's eyes are half closed. He looks calm, but he is sad and happy. The crazy Taoist said that Lin Luoran is about to advance again, and asked him to protect her. He is happy for Lin Luoran's progress, but he also feels sad for his own lack of talent. Will he never be able to catch up with her? Lu Zheng sighs, but he knows that he is too greedy. At the beginning, he climbed the mountain and crossed the river just to see what Lin Luoran's world was like. He also hoped that one day, he could be strong enough to help her. He knows that he is not talented and Lin Luoran is talented. Why do he have to sigh now? Lu Zheng dispels the sadness and only feels happy for Lin Luoran's advancement. After letting go of the sadness and leaving only the joy, Lu Zheng also felt the balance of the 5 elements around him. Although the 5 of them are just guardians, they all seem to have gained something. The sun is setting and the pilgrims are going home. Lin Luodong is bored alone and his stomach growls. Have they not eaten anything for a day? The young man is hesitating whether he should go to the restaurant at the foot of the mountain to prepare dinner for them. However, Lin Luoran, who is surrounded in the center, moves. Sister, you are awake? The 5 of them also wake up from the mysterious feeling. They look at Lin Luoran and want to ask her if she has succeeded in advancing. Lin Luoran knows what they are thinking and she doesn't answer immediately. Aren't you hungry after a whole day? Let's go home and have dinner. Chapter 277. Walking on the mountain path in the afterglow of the setting sun, Lin Luoran and her friends look like a team returning home from a picnic. Of course, they are not returning from a picnic. Lin Luoran, the pillar of the Lin family, has officially entered the middle stage of laying foundation half an hour ago. In fact, Lin Luoran is worried about her rocket-like cultivation speed. Knowing that she can't enter the latter stage of laying foundation, she doesn't force herself and wakes up from the trance. Lin Luoran has just crossed a small hurdle on the path of cultivation, but it is enough for Mr. Lin to be proud of. In addition, those who are guarding Lin Luoran today are all her close friends. Knowing that Lin Luoran has successfully entered the next level, everyone is happy. They laugh along the way, which startles many birds that want to go back to their nests. Sister, let's go back and celebrate. Li Xier's eyes are rolling. Lin Luoran doesn't know what she is thinking. Lin Luoran wants to ignore her, but she is also happy. Finally, she can't help but laugh. What do you think? How should we celebrate? As long as it's not too ostentatious, we can do whatever you want. Everyone turns to Li Xier, which makes her feel awkward. At this moment, Luodong's stomach growls again. Li Xier realizes that they haven't eaten anything for a day. She blurts out, Sister, let's go back and have a big meal. What kind of celebration is this? Lin Luoran bursts into laughter. Unexpectedly, others agree with her idea. Well, eating is the most important thing in the world. However, everyone has been eating the vegetables in the space, Mrs. Lin's own vegetables, and even the game that Goldie brings back from time to time. What should they eat for dinner tonight? Lin Luoran is thinking. Luodong thinks for a while and says to Huang Weijian, "Didn't you say that the barbecue outside our school is delicious?" Everyone is looking at him. They want to associate him with the greasy mutton skewers on the roadside. Huang wants to punch Luodong, the idiot who is pretending to be stupid. "Hey, it's you who insisted on eating barbecue with me and ended up with diarrhea. Damn it. Luodong, you're the one who insisted on eating barbecue with me and ended up with diarrhea. How dare you?" Lin Luoran makes the final decision. "Let's have barbecue." Li and Luodong are both cheering. Before it gets dark, Lin sends the two of them to look for food. Huang is dragged away by Luodong. Mr. Lin said that there is a small lake where they just passed. Maybe there are fish. He has to go and have a look. Yuan Yi says that he is going to find some natural seasonings in the mountains. Soon, only Lin and Lu Zheng are left here. After a few steps, Lin Luoran finds a cluster of dark purple leaves. She says in a low voice, "Ah, there is something like this." Lu Zheng followed her and squatted down to take a look. He found that it was a cluster of short plants that he did not recognize. "What is this? Is it edible?" "Wild chameleon plant. Have you never eaten it before?" This thing was very delicious when served cold, and it was also very fragrant when grilled fish was cut and seasoned. In the past, it was common to see it in the fields, but later on, it was artificially planted, and it became increasingly difficult to find the wild one. In people's memories, it was even more tempting. Lin Luoran uses a branch as a shovel to dig out the chameleon plant, and introduces how to eat it to Lu Zheng. Lu Zheng is embarrassed. He has never eaten this kind of wild vegetable. Lin Luoran pats her head and says, "I forget that you are a young master, and have never eaten this kind of wild vegetable. I am so sorry." Lu Zheng smiles and doesn't say anything. Lin Luoran is so serious that she doesn't even notice that a strand of her hair is stained with mud. Lu Zheng looks at her, and finds it hard to imagine that a cultivator in laying foundation can dig wild vegetables in such a happy mood. He feels that he knows Lin Luoran better, but she always makes him discover more beautiful things. He feels that he can't find the right adjective to describe Lin Luoran. He is always falling deeper and deeper into the discovery. He is destined to chase after this woman for the rest of his life. If I get her, I will be lucky. If I don't, I will be the only one left. At this moment, everything is quiet and there is only the two of them. Lu Zheng feels that there is a little person in his mind saying, "Confess. Confess. Even if you fail, it is better than worrying about gains and losses forever." While his tongue is still in his mouth, Yuan Yi has come back with a bag of things excitedly. "Grandmaster, I found a lot of spices." Hearing Yuan Ye's excited tone, Lin Luoran is stunned with the chameleon plant in her hand. She was wondering why Yuan Yi wanted to be her apprentice. They are all foodies, so they are destined to be master and apprentice. Lin Luoran really wants to touch her forehead. Not only Yuan Yi, but all the people who are close to the Lin family are foodies. This is the real ill-fated relationship. She pokes her head and sees Yuan Ye's bag. There is a large handful of wild fire onion, a handful of wild chaotian pepper, and wild pepper. There is snow on the mountain. It must be hard for him to find these things. He really wants to eat them. He is not afraid of bitterness or cold. Seeing that Lin Luoran is coming, Lu Zheng realizes that he failed to confess. Lin Luoran already has an apprentice. There is still a big gap between him and her. The most urgent thing now is to narrow the gap. He has to go back and continue to practice hard. After a while, Li Shi and the two teenagers also come back. They have gained a lot. Li Shi carries two colorful pheasants, while Luodong and Huang Weijian carry a black thing with wooden sticks. Looking at it carefully, they find that it is a half-grown wild boar. They don't know who caught it. Although the wild boar was not very big, it was plump and strong. It weighed more than 50 kilograms. There was no need to look for other ingredients. A boar's body was not just made up of pig's ears, pig's feet, ribs, and pork belly. Luodong and Huang Weijian are in good health. Only teenagers can carry the fat wild boar. When Mr. Lin comes back, he is holding a straw rope with 2 strings of 3-inch long Christian carps. There are 30 or 40 of them. There are also several big prawns. They must have caught them by the way. Well, let a cultivator go hunting. Even a cultivator in the early stage of training qi is bullying these small animals. It's getting dark. Yuan Yi and Lu Zheng are responsible for carrying the wild boar. The group of people finally set sail again. Lin Luoran is standing behind. She doesn't think it's a big deal when she sees Yuan Yi carrying the pig. However, Lu Zheng is wearing a Taoist robe. Compared with the elegant young master with gold-rimmed glasses, Lu Zheng looks so funny. No, I have to hold it. If I can't hold it, Lu Xiaodong will be angry. I have to carry the wild boar back. Mr. Lin looks at his daughter's sneaky smile and is lost in thought. Well, he suddenly remembers that his daughter looks young. According to the secular world, she should be in her early 30s. He doesn't know how old most people in the world of cultivation are to get married. Maybe he should ask the crazy Taoist one day. Mr. Lin is very sad at this moment because his daughter has just grown up. Who can match his excellent daughter? This is really a big problem. Because there are so many people, Mrs. Lin prepares 3 grills by the swimming pool. There is only 1 grill in Lin's house. The other 2 grills are from Fatty Chui's house and the other one is provided by Lu Zheng. Lin Luoran knows that Lu Zheng bought a house in Qingqing Villa a few years ago. At that time, she was lying in the blood pool and couldn't move. The whole Lin family was under the pressure of her disappearance. However, Lu Zheng bought a house here at that time. Lin Luoran has to face it. Maybe she has missed something? Lin Luoran doesn't want to ask more questions since there are so many people around. In fact, there is no need to ask. She has known Lu Zheng's feelings for her. As long as Baojia is still single, she will never be with her ex-fiancé. Lin Luoran is very stubborn about this. She is even a little paranoid. She looks at Baojia's room. You have slept for so long. When are you going to wake up? Aunt Lin, I want to eat grilled fish, but my mom won't let me. Please cook it for me. I beg you. Lucy pulls Lin Luoran's clothes and takes a skewer of fish with her chubby hand. She hands it to Lin Luoran. Wang Miaoyi shouts with her hands on her waist. Cui Wanlu, you are as fat as your dad. Don't eat too much. Wang Miao, these words make Fatty Cui proud. Lucy is chubby like a snow doll. Fatty Cui feels that his daughter resembles him, so he sticks out his chest. However, Wang Miao, he stares at him and he shrinks his neck. He looks at his daughter carefully. Is she too fat? Fatty Cui is worried about his gains and losses. Seeing that Lin Luoran is grilling the fish seriously, he puts the thought aside. Anyway, Lin Luoran will take care of her. She can worry about the future later. Barbecue is seasoned and Lucy can't eat spicy food, so Lin Luoran doesn't brush chili oil on it. She quickly rolls the fish on the grill. When the fish is tender, Lin Luoran sprinkles some chopped chameleon plant and wild onions on it. Finally, she flicks a pinch of salt on it. The aroma of the wild Christian carp is appetizing. Lucy is too small. Lin Luoran is afraid that she will be stuck by the fish bone, so she gives the fish to Wang Miaoyi. Lucy looks at her mother pitifully. This is indeed a killer move. Even the tough Wang Miao, he has to pick out the fish bone and feed it to her daughter. Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian are grilling pork belly and ribs. Mrs. Lin and Li Shi are like to grill vegetables, such as potatoes, eggplants, and cucumbers. Recently, they feel that they have stored too much fat in winter, so they are discussing how to lose weight. Yuan Yi and Lu Zheng have a topic to talk about. Zheng Tian and Mr. Lin are exchanging fishing experiences while grilling fish. Commander Qin is the most miserable one. Although he is a senior, the crazy Taoist is here today. Therefore, the former commander of the military subdivision is doing odd jobs and grilling pheasants for the crazy Taoist. Lin Luoran really wants to take over his job. However, seeing Commander Qin grilling and the crazy Taoist eating silently, Lin Luoran doesn't want to join in the fun. Commander Qin and the crazy Taoist are obviously exchanging affection. Wait, isn't that little thing beside the grill Cyan little fox? The little fox can't wait to be grilled. It is so impatient that it jumps to the table and grills something with a bamboo stick. Lin Luoran takes a closer look and finds that it is grilling ginseng. Well, ginseng can also be grilled. Lin Luoran decides not to interfere with it. She calmly watches what it is going to do. The Siam little fox thinks that the ginseng is about to be cooked. It brushes the ginseng with chili oil, salt, and some pepper. When the ginseng is cooked, it sprinkles chopped green onions on it. Well, it smells delicious. The cyan little fox doesn't care about the heat and takes a big bite. The ginseng alone tastes bitter. However, with the spiciness and saltiness, Lin Luoran can tell what a freaky taste it is just by looking at the fox's expression. Haha. Lin Luoran, the bad owner, finally can't help laughing. The cyan little fox is afraid of being laughed at, so it quietly throws the failed grilled ginseng into the swimming pool. Lin Luoran smiles and the little fox is caught by Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin often cleans the swimming pool. Now that the little fox is caught, Mrs. Lin is so angry that she can't vent her anger. The cyan little fox runs away. Fortunately, the cyan little fox reminds Lin Luoran, or she almost forgets about Goldie. Lin Luoran finds the wild boar leg, which weighs more than 10 kilograms. She minces the meat and puts it on the grill. Of course, Goldie's food can't be too spicy. Lin Luoran rolls it patiently. When the meat is almost cooked, she brushes it with spirit wine and the jam made from the fruits in her space. The boar leg is dripping with oil on the grill. It smells so good that everyone turns to look at it. Fatty Chui comes to Lin first, licking his face. Hey girl, how did you grill it? Why does it smell better than what we ate? Everyone nods. Lin Luoran glares at him. Fatty Chui has eaten the food for 3 people. How can he say that he doesn't taste good? He must be lying. He is just greedy and wants to change the taste. Lin Luoran points at Goldie on the roof and says, "If you dare to steal its food, I will write a letter to you." Goldie turns its head and stares at Fatty Chui coldly. Fatty Chui grunts, "I don't want to argue with a hawk." As soon as he finishes his words, Goldie flaps its wings and lands in the yard. Fatty Chui is scared and runs away. Wang Miaoyi laughs the loudest. Lucy doesn't care about her father either. She giggles like a string of little bells. It turns out that the boar leg is cooked and Goldie comes down to eat. It doesn't want to make trouble for Fatty Chui. Everyone laughs again. The little golden hawk's beak is sharp and sharp. It pecks a large piece of meat off the leg of the wild boar. Everyone's appetite is aroused by the way it eats. They ask for some jam and spirit wine, and start the second round of barbecue, which is mainly light. The cyan little fox comes to Lin Luoran with its ears down. Lin Luoran picks it up and says, "Why didn't you say you wanted to eat? You don't want to waste a ginseng." The fox becomes more listless. However, Lin Luoran finds a few pieces of pork ribs and skewered them with cucumber and tomato. The color matches well, and they are grilled carefully. Lin Luoran looks at them and wants to eat them. She hands the skewered meat to the cyan little fox. Its grievance is gone instantly. It jumps to Goldie. Lin Luoran suspects that it is going to show off. Yuan Yi notices that Lin Luoran is busy grilling for everyone. She even takes care of Goldie and the cyan little fox, but she doesn't eat much. He grills a few skewers of pheasant for her. Grandmaster Lin Luoran sighs. She has an apprentice. After eating the meat, she asks casually, "Will the first new drug be released next week?" Hearing that Lin Luoran is asking about the pharmaceutical factory, Yuan Yi becomes serious. When he is about to tell Lin Luoran about the new drug, his grandmaster turns around to grill potato chips and says, "When the new drug is released, you should leave the pharmaceutical factory for a while. Don't live in the mountains anymore. Stay at home and practice more. Your personal ability is too low." Does she want him to move to Lin's house and practice wholeheartedly? Yuan Yi wants to pinch himself. Does this mean that he has been accepted by his grandmaster? Zheng Tian is full of tears. He looks at Yuan Yi with envy, jealousy, and hatred. "I have more than 4,000 chapters. I can divide them into 2 chapters and call myself 3 chapters. Unfortunately, I don't have one." Appa is so honest. Chapter 278. Although Lin Luoran has thought that the space will expand with her advancement, she is still shocked when she enters the space in the dead of night when people from all walks of life who come to Lin's house for food have left. The land in front of her is full of all kinds of plants. Is this really her space? There are 3 or 4 acres of land in total, not including the area occupied by the cabin. Lin Luoran can't help but remember that when she took over the space, the planting area was less than 1/10 of the present area. In the past few years, she has never stopped cultivating and never got tired of farming. Therefore, the space has grown with her. Lin Luoran, who is calm, inevitably feels proud. Maybe she can do what she wanted to do a long time ago with this extra acre of land. Well, half of the land can be planted with rice, 20% with wheat, and 30% with rape. When the time comes, she can mix them with the tea seeds harvested intermittently in the space. Lin Luoran is naturally very happy that she can finally put her plan into action. In the past, the space was small. Lin Luoran planted medicine, vegetables, fruits, and tea trees everywhere, so there was no space for her to plant staple food. People in the center of Chuan province are used to eating rice. No matter how delicious the fruits and vegetables of Lin's family are, people will always feel uneasy if they don't eat some rice. However, people who are used to eating the pure natural vegetables produced by the space or the Lin's family will always find it hard to swallow no matter how good the Thai rice is. Even the rice tastes like coarse rice. The same is true for cooking oil. Even if you cook with high-grade olive oil, things without reiki can't be compared with the fruits and vegetables produced by the space. Poultry is fine. Mrs. Lin raises many chickens and ducks in the corner of the yard. They eat the leftovers of the space such as cabbage leaves and water spinach. The meat is tender and harmless, and it is high quality. Therefore, people in the Lin family are becoming less and less fond of eating rice. If it goes on like this, the food of Lin's family will be inclined to Western food. Lin Luoran looks at the space and giggles. We can also be ground and steamed. She remembers that Baojia likes noodles very much. She even praised the noodles she made. Baojia has been sleeping for so long, and has been relying on the liquid porridge. Although the porridge is made of tonic spirit herbs, it tastes bland in her mouth. Lin Luoran is motivated to make sure that Baojia can have good food when she wakes up. Unfortunately, her spells of the 5 elements were completely useless against the space. If she wanted to plant rice, she still had to rely on herself. For 3 days in a row, Mrs. Lin finds that her daughter is strange again. How could it be strange? She clearly stayed in her room every day, but every time she came out to eat, her clothes would be stained with mud. One day, during dinner, he even said that he wanted to develop the lakeside in front of the door. What? You want to plant rice? Mrs. Lin stares at her daughter. How can she think of planting rice by the lake? Lin Luoran picks up a piece of fish and says, Mom, don't you think our dishes are better than rice? Let's try everything. It's best if we can succeed, but if we can't, then forget it. Mrs. Lin, who loves cooking, is moved by this proposal. Anyway, the Lins are very free except for cultivation, so they all go to the paddy field. The land by the lake is not short of water, and is very fertile. It's a pity that this huge semi-artificial lake still belongs to Qingqing Villa. The scenery belongs to Villa number 18. But the lake doesn't. Lin Luoran has covered the lake with the protective circle of her family. She has long planned to make it part of her family's territory. Others can't see the Reiki cover, but the property owner can see it. Lin Luoran has to solve the problem this time. Lin Luoran asks Zheng Tian to find out which company Qingqing Villa belongs to and discuss the purchase of the lake. A few days later, Zheng Tian says that the lake is developed by a multinational group. Even a local tyrant like Zhang's company can't contact the owner. Lin Luoran is thinking that she might as well not plant rice in front of her house. However, the owner of Qingqing Villa shows up at this time. Coincidentally, when Lin Luoran calls Master Mu, she mentions the owner of Qingqing Villa. Master Mu laughs openly. You little girl, you're smart, but you're being silly at this critical moment. This villa was developed by a nephew of the Mu family. Since we've given you that house, who would dare to say that you can't use the lake area? Don't worry about planting. After harvesting the rice, remember to send some to this old man. Lin Luoran really wants to pat her head hard. Why did she ask Zheng Tian to inquire about it? She should have asked Master Mu. They would never give her a villa of unknown origin. Before hanging up, Master Mu adds, that nephew happens to be in our city these days. I'll ask Tiannan to bring him to see you some other day. Lin Luoran nods and says yes. She gets a lake for free, so she should meet the owner. As for Mu Tiannan, it is said that he has been sent to the R city to manage the shares of the Mu family in the pharmaceutical factory. Because of the siege of the bloodline, Lin Luoran hasn't met him yet. She doesn't know whether the playboy Mu has become more mature after he gets married. Knowing that the lake can be used, the Lin family starts to take action. It is impossible for Li to wear a tang suit to clean the mud. Lin Luoran sends her to the city to buy rice seeds. Lin Luoran has already cleaned up half an acre of paddy field in her space. Unfortunately, there are no rice seeds and the field is still empty. It is not Lin Luoran's first idea to plant rice by the lake. The land by the lake is soft and fertile. Lin Luoran doesn't have to worry about water shortage. Besides, the small lake is not in danger of flood, so it is perfect. First, she builds a small ridge by the lake to separate the open space by the lake from the water. Then, she digs some mud from the bottom of the lake to fertilize the field. Mr. Lin is efficient and happy. With the help of Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian, the uninvited coolie, it takes less than 2 days to plan the lakeside. Although the paddy field is only 2 or 3 meters wide, the lake is not small. The area of the paddy field around the lake is very large. The pleasant surprise is that when digging the mud, Mr. Lin throws a lot of loaches and eels as thick as an adult's thumb. Luodong and Huang Weijian all go into the water to catch the loaches. Mrs. Lin doesn't blame them. It's abnormal that country kids haven't caught fish in the river, or caught eels in the field. 2.5 children can't play for 2 years. When they grow up, it's not a bad thing for them to have a memorable time. After Mr. Lin and the others clean up the field, they catch a small tank of loaches and eels. Mrs. Lin raises them in clean water, and says that they will have a big meal when they spit out all the mud. People cheer, expressing their firm support for Mrs. Lin's decision. They stand close to Mrs. Lin. These eels are not artificially bred. They are natural delicacies without hormones or contraceptive pills. Li Shi has already bought the rice seeds. Lin Luoran flattens a piece of land in the yard, plows it evenly, sows the rice seeds, irrigates them, inserts bamboo strips to form an arch, and covers it with a layer of transparent film. Sister, the rice field is cleaned up. Why don't you just sow the seeds in the field? It is troublesome to raise them here. We have to move them again. Shi Hung took Li Shiren when she was a child. Shi Hung is a master who would never give her the moon. She almost thinks that the rice is harvested directly from the field. She also knows that it is not easy to grow the grains. Lin Luoran flicks her forehead. This is called nurturing seedlings. You should read more books. If you go on like this, you won't be able to tell the difference between wheat and chives. Li Shier feels wronged. Isn't her task to cultivate? Why does she know how to farm? After thinking for a while, she decides to post on the BBS. Li Shier is shocked. It turned out that there were quite a few cultivators who knew how to farm. They weren't fond of farming, but they had very high requirements for imported food. Although growing spirit rice and spirit vegetables was too unrealistic for ordinary cultivators, it was also impossible for them to eat food that was irrigated with all kinds of pesticides and fertilizers in the secular world. When people eat grains, there will be turbid qi in their bodies. This is the original purpose of making fasting bolus in the world of cultivation. They don't want turbid qi in the mortal world to affect their cultivation. Now that there are no fasting bolus, spirit rice and vegetables, they have to choose the next best thing, which is natural food. Outsiders were unreliable, but it was still very easy for cultivators to secretly own some land. Even if they hired someone to take care of it, they would often go around to see if the people they hired to farm were deceiving them and spraying pesticides when they were not paying attention while they were cultivating. Cultivation families and sects naturally have people to take care of these trifles, but individual cultivators have to supervise themselves. Therefore, as soon as Li Shier posted, individual cultivators responded positively. Whether it was growing flowers, herbs, vegetables, or wheat, they were all very helpful, which was an eye-opener for Li Shier. Li Shi suddenly realizes that she has no hobbies other than cultivation, eating, and playing. They are all cultivators, but why can others live such a fulfilling life? Li Shier tells Lin Luoran about her worries. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and proposes to teach her how to grow flowers. Li Xia loves to wear tang clothes. Lin Luoran can't imagine that Li Xi would look like rolling in the mud all day while wearing a long skirt to collect herbs and plant crops. Li Xi is still hesitant. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and says, "Look at how good it is to grow flowers. Maybe one day you will have a peony fairy." Li Xi looks at Lin Luoran with disdain. "Do you think I am an idiot? My master said that after the Tao of nature is in chaos, there will be no more Dilia syrup. How can I have a peony fairy?" Lin Luoran is speechless. She has a daughter who has just grown up. Li Xi is not easy to fool. Li Xi thinks for a while and decides to grow flowers as her hobby. Lin Luoran asks her and Li Xi says with a smile, "I have thought about it. My master said that it is not easy to lay foundation. But you have reached the middle stage of laying foundation so fast. There is no Dilia syrup now. Who knows when there will be more in the future? Let's grow flowers first. Maybe I will have a house full of flower fairies." Lin Luoran sighs with emotion. Li Xi is right. Who knows what will happen in the future? It is night and the air in the mountains is fresh. It is getting warmer after the new year. The snow in the mountains has melted a lot. The temperature is very low at night. Lin Luoran doesn't care about the low temperature. However, Li Xi's personal ability is not high enough. She has already gone into the house to put on her rabbit fur coat. After a while, Mrs. Lin comes out with a newly made cloak. Lin Luoran will not ignore her mother's care. She takes the cloak and puts it on. Lin Luoran is wearing a snow-white rabbit fur cloak that just reaches her ankles. She is tall and slim, so she doesn't look fat at all. With her black hair, she really looks like a fairy from the Moon Palace. Mrs. Lin sighs with emotion. Lin Luoran holds her hand tightly. Her mother's hand is a little cold. After all, she is immortal. No amount of spirit herbs can make up for this. As long as Mrs. Lin's Taoist root problem is not solved, the Lin family will stay together for the rest of their lives. For Lin Luoran, such a leisurely and peaceful cultivation life is just an illusion. If the Dongting Dragon Palace exists, what about Mount Punglai? Lin Luoran is in a trance. A gust of wind comes and she drags her mother back into the house. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.